Chapter 489. From now on, I am a rich person. Yun Chujo saw that the heavenly sex points had turned negative, and her heart was bursting with joy. This stingy old Qiling was finally doing something right. Let's see how the Heaven's Gate sect will show off this time. Yun Chujo saw Du Gai's face turn green and white and knew that she could not provoke him now. Otherwise, this old fellow would be so angry from embarrassment that he might really kill her. If she was hurt, it would not be worth it. Therefore, she looked at Fairy Yume and Taoist priest Zhenyi and said with a smile, "Sect leaders, where is the agreed reward?" Fairy Yume and Taoist priest Zhenyi each took out a middle-grade spirit weapon and gave it to Yun Chujo. Yun Chujo thanked them with a smile and praised them repeatedly for their generosity. They were indeed worthy of being the sect leaders. Du Gai's face turned green and red when he heard that. He could only grit his teeth and take out a middle-grade spirit weapon from his storage ring and threw it to Yun Chujo. It was rare that Yun Chujo did not provoke him and obediently thanked him. Du Gai wanted to use this as an excuse, but he had none. He was so angry that he almost vomited blood again. Fairy Yume asked curiously, "Little girl, what reward did you get for passing the 8th and 9th levels of the Wuwei Tower's trial?" Yun Chujia's small face scrunched up. "I don't want to talk about it. This damn Wuwei Tower is so stingy. It just had to say that all the treasures on the 8th level were stolen by our patriarch Ling Hua, but the 8th level did not give me anything. What about the 9th level?" Fairy Yume thought to herself. This Ling Hua sect really had the origin of the sect, and this trick was inherited from the same origin. A sparkling stone appeared in Yun Chujia's small hand. "I don't know what this thing is, but it rewarded me with 20 pieces of this thing. Heavens! Supreme Grade Spirit Stone. This is a Supreme Grade Spirit Stone." The people who were still skeptical at first saw the Supreme Grade Spirit Stone that Yun Chujo took out and immediately dispelled their doubts. Only this Wuwei Tower would have Supreme Grade Spirit Stones that only existed 10,000 years ago. The quality of the Spirit Stone or now was much lower than before. There were no Supreme Grade Spirit Stones out of the one's mind at all. "May I ask, how many low-grade Spirit Stones is one piece of this thing worth?" Yun Chujo asked the sect leaders with her eyes shining brightly. 10,000 years ago, one Supreme Grade Spirit Stone could be exchanged for 1 million low-grade Spirit Stones. However, the rarer the item, the more precious it is. Now, the number of Supreme Grade Spirit Stones is extremely small. One piece should be able to be exchanged for 2 million low-grade Spirit Stones. Fairy Yume thought for a moment and said. Yun Chujo was about to burst with joy. She was going to be rich. She had extorted 100 pieces from the Wuwei Tower's Qiling. Furthermore, she had dug out more than 100 pieces on her own. Oh my God, even with her brain she could not calculate it properly. From now on I am a rich person. Pretty boy, if you continue to give her a hard time, get lost. Du Gai's eyes flickered, and he asked with ill intentions, "Little girl, other than these 20 Supreme Grade Spirit Stones, you didn't get anything else? Why would the Wuwei Tower only reward these few things?" "Yes, there are several other things besides these 20 Supreme Grade Spirit Stones." Yun Chujo took out the few things that the Wuwei Tower's Qiling had compensated her with. "Just these? That's impossible, right? There isn't anything of a higher grade here?" Du Gai didn't believe it. Sect leader Du Gai, if you really don't believe it, why don't you go ask the Wuwei Tower's Qiling? Maybe when the Wuwei Tower's Qiling is happy, it will turn your heavenly sex points into a positive number. Yun Chujo said with a smile. Du Gai's old face flushed red. Damn girl, she was despicable. Chapter 490. The White Lotus Flower needs refinement. Even though Master Xianyuan was very happy that the Linghua sect had obtained the first place, he was not as ostentatious as Du Gai, nor did he taunt him. A tree that stands out in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. The dim Yun Chujo had already managed to pass the 9th level of the Wuwei Tower. For now, he wanted to avoid being targeted by others. However, even though Master Xianyuan thought if he wanted to keep a low profile, he could not. In tens of thousands of years, only Yun Chujo had passed the 9th level of the Wuwei Tower. After this incident, Yun Chujia's name spread throughout the entire Qingxian continent. Although Su Yanran was also very outstanding, compared to Yun Chujia's radiance, she appeared dull. However, because Yun Chujo looked to be only at the 4th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm, Everyone viewed her passing the 9th level of the Wuwei Tower as down to pure luck, as they considered that the disciples needed to replenish their spirit energy and adjust their mental states. The second round of the competition was scheduled to be held 2 days later. Yun Chujo felt that she was too conspicuous, so she didn't sign up to participate in any of the competitions. Yun Chujo became famous after just one event. Although everyone still felt that she had just gotten lucky enough to pass the 9th level of the Wuwei Tower, that luck could also be considered a part of her strength. After all, Yun Chujo had helped the Linghua sect to turn the tables and obtain victory twice. Therefore, many disciples of the Linghua sect began to be friendly to Yun Chujo, and they all called her junior sister Little Jiu. Yun Chujo was unperturbed. She had said long ago that they would only be jealous when she was just a little stronger than them. Now that she had reached a level that they did not even dare to think of, they naturally became respectful towards her. Zhuo Piaoyu wished that she could turn invisible. She was afraid that Yun Chujo would make her fulfill her promise. However, she did not know if Yun Chujo had forgotten about the bet, and did not even mention it. Zhuo Piaoyu was on tenterhooks. It was as if a sword were hanging above her head, ready to fall at any moment. Every time Yun Chujo looked over, she felt her heart was in her throat. Yun Chujo was secretly enjoying this. Little fellow, I'll torture you to death. I'll let you live in fear and trepidation for the rest of your life. I'm scaring myself with these thoughts. Zhuo Piaoyu could not stand this torture anymore. She took the initiative to look for Peak Master Yuan and recounted everything that had happened. She cried and begged him to help her plead for mercy. Peak Master Yuan had always placed great importance on Zhuo Piaoyu. After reprimanding her, he dragged Peak Master Yu of Middle Peak to look for Yun Chujo to plead for Zhuo Piaoyu. Little Jiu, I've already reprimanded that child, Piaoyu. Regarding the bet, do you think you can make an exception? Peak Master Yuan said with a flushed face. Peak Master Yu, who was at the side, also advised, Little Jiu, you have to forgive and forget. You can't really demote Zhuo Piaoyu to an inner sect disciple just because of a bet. It won't look good if word gets out. Yun Chujo smiled faintly. 2 Peak Masters, I don't know what version you heard, but at that time, Zhuo Piaoyu was the one who took the initiative to set up the bet and said that whoever goes back on their word would be a turtle bastard. After thinking a short while, she added, how about this? Since she wants to go back on her word, that's fine too. If she walks around outside with a turtle bastard sign, the bet will be voided. The corners of Peak Master Yuan and Peak Master Yu's eyes twitched violently. If they did that, they might as well have Zhuo Piaoyu demoted to an inner disciple. I'm just saying this out of anger. How about this, since the 2 of you have come to plead for her? Add another 1,000,000 spirit stones to the original 1,000,000 spirit stones, and this matter will be over. However, Peak Master Yuan, I advise you to take a good look at this successive disciple of yours. The white lotus flower needs refinement. Chapter 491. Elder Brother's spirit stones are yours to spend as you wish. A white lotus flower needing refinement? Peak Master Yuan and Peak Master Yu exchanged a glance. What did a white lotus flower needing refinement mean? Yun Chujo couldn't be bothered to explain it to them. In any case, Peak Master Yuan, you just have to pay attention. With your intelligence, you'll soon discover the problem. You can't just look at the surface of things. Go back and think about it yourself. Yun Chujo accepted the 2,000,000 low-grade spirit stones that Peak Master Yuan had transferred over, and waved her hands to send the guest off. Peak Master Yuan took Yun Chujo's words to heart, and decided to keep an eye out for Zhuo Piaoyu's actions in the future. The 4 great sects had all set up camp, preparing for the competition in 2 days. Yun Chujia's thoughts had long flown to Wuwei City. She heard that Wuwei City was very lively, and she wanted to go for a stroll there. However, now that the competition was about to start, even if she proposed it, Master Shenyuan would not agree, so she did not want to bring trouble herself. Just as Yun Chujo was bored to death, a flying spirit tool flew over from afar. Little sister Jiu, Big Brother is here to see you. Shui Wuji gracefully jumped down from the flying spirit tool. His bright red clothes were blown up by the wind, attracting the attention of a group of women. Big Brother Wuji, it's not even my birthday yet. Why are you here? Yun Chujo cursed in her heart. Although this fellow was a little silly, he was indeed very pleasing to the eye. Unfortunately, the pretty boy did not allow me to draw his figure. If I were to draw a few portraits, it would sell like crazy. Humph. That expressionless man thinks he can stall me just because he wants to find something to do. In your dreams. Just so happens that he's not here. Big Brother will bring you to Wue City for a stroll. You can buy whatever you want. Big Brother will pay for it. Big Brother is really rich. Xue Wuji changed his usual stingy personality. He said heroically. Yun Chujia's eyes lit up. How could she miss such a good opportunity? She went and shamelessly begged Master Xianyuan to give her a day off. Master Xianyuan couldn't bear her coquettish manner and could only nod in agreement. However, he told her that she had to be back before nightfall. Yun Chuzhou repeatedly promised and then hopped along with Xue Wuji as they rushed to Wue City. Wue City was very lively. Many cultivators knew that the four major sects were going to hold a competition here for 30 years, so they came to watch the show. The competition 2 days later especially attracted many cultivators. Some vendors quickly seized the business opportunity. Whether it was the shops or the roadside vendors, they tried their best to attract customers. The first thing Yun Chuzhou did was eat. She and Xue Wuji found a restaurant. After the waiter brought the menu, Yun Chuzhou asked Xue Wuji seriously, "Brother Wuji, are you really the one paying for everything?" Xue Wuji brushed his hair and said affectionately, "Sister Little Jiu, when you are with me in the future, I will pay for all the expenses." You are right. You don't have to bring spirit stones with you. As long as you are happy, you can spend my spirit stones however you like. Yun Chuzhou shivered. Brother Wuji, can you speak properly? Why do I feel so cold when you speak like that? Xue Wuji was about to say something more romantic, but he held back. This little girl was so unromantic. Forget it, let's take it slow. Little sister Jiu, you order the dishes. After we finish eating, I will take you out for a walk. Xue Wuji decided to go with her tastes. This little girl was gluttonous, so he would let her eat to her heart's content. Yun Chuzhou did not stand on ceremony. She picked the most expensive dishes and ordered a large table full of dishes. She ate happily. Seeing that she was eating happily, Xue Wuji felt a little hungry. The two of them chatted as they ate. The atmosphere was very harmonious. Chapter 492. Prince Charming. What a coincidence. After the meal, Yun Chuzhou and Xue Wuji first went to the snack shop to buy a bunch of candied fruits, preserved fruits and dried fruits. Then they went to the delicatessen shop to buy a lot of cooked food and kept them in their storage rings. Then, Yun Chuzhou dived into the final destination of this trip, the shop that sold storybooks. When Yun Chuzhou entered the storybook shop, she was like a fish in water. The selection was so wide that she could not stop buying every book she saw. This book was not bad and that book was also very good. She ended up buying several hundred books. When Xue Wuji paid, he was staggered when he saw the covers of those books. The harem of a beautiful man with a smiling face, a handsome man sitting in a row. Every husband is beautiful. After leaving the store, Xue Wuji coughed dryly twice. Little sister Jiu, your interest is very unique. It really surprised me. Brother Wuji, do you want to read it too? I have 2 books here. Take them and read them. They are very good. I can already recite them fluently. Yun Chuzhou took out 2 books with bald edges from her storage ring and handed them to Xue Wuji. After Xue Wuji took them, he felt that he was in a bad mood. One of them was The Daily Life of a Flower-Picking Female Thief, and the other was The Empress Male Pets. Xue Wuji felt that the 2 books in his hands were a little inappropriate, so he hurriedly stuffed them into Yun Chujia's hands. Little sister Jiu, it's better if you keep them for yourself. I'm not interested. Brother Wuji, take them and read them. They're really beautiful. Why don't you show them to the beauties in your palace? They'll definitely like them. Yun Chuzhou felt that she had spent a lot of spirit stones on Xue Wuji today. If she didn't give him something in return, she would feel a little guilty. Cough cough. The main reason was that she was just bored of reading these 2 books. They don't want to read them either. You should keep them for yourself. Xue Wuji couldn't imagine what would happen if he took these 2 scripts back. Those beauties would think that I'm a pervert. Aya, don't be polite. Take them. Little sister Jiu, you should keep them. Brother Wuji, you don't have to be polite with me. Just take them. Yun Chuzhou felt that her hands were empty. Then she heard a voice that was gnashing her teeth. Black thing, what is this? Yoon Chuji's head buzzed. Fuck, why did the gigolo appear every time she was out with Wooji? I think these two must be having an affair. Yoon Chujo blinked at Shue Wooji desperately and then turned around, her face full of surprise. My Prince Charming, what a coincidence. You are shopping too? We are fated to meet each other. I predicted that we would meet here today, so I asked Brother Wooji to come with me. Ah, my Prince Charming, don't misunderstand. Everyone else is preparing for the competition. It is not safe for a weak girl like me to come out alone. Moreover, I am so beautiful. It is really not safe. Let me ask you, what is this? Di Biming's face was livid as he waved the notebook in his hand. This is what my brother Wooji bought just now. He said that he wanted to lend it to me to take a look. I thought of your teachings and said that I don't want it no matter what. Just like that. Brother Wooji, tell me, is this what happened? Yoon Chujo turned her head and asked Shue Wooji. Shue Wooji saw that Yoon Chuji's eyes were about to twitch. He gritted his teeth. Yes, that's right. This is what happened. Recently, I have fallen in love with this kind of book. The content is very interesting. I take it out to have a look whenever I have nothing to do. Can't you see that it's turning bald from overuse? Chapter 493. The black thing is mine, Di Biming sneered. Do you two think I'm an idiot? Shue Wooji, this is between me and the black thing. Get lost. Otherwise, it'll make your blood demon sect completely disappear. Shue Wooji narrowed his eyes. Di Biming, do you think I'm afraid of you? Many young masters just don't want little sister Jiu to see a joke. Since you want to fight so much, I'll indulge you to the end. Di Biming waved his hand. The two words instantly turned into ashes. Shue Wooji, I'll first send the black thing back to the Wuwei Towers camp. Then we'll find a place to have a good spar. Ever since the last battle, I've always wanted to have a good spar with you. Shue Wooji sneered. I brought little sister Jiu out. Naturally, I'll be sending her back. Get lost. The black thing belongs to me. There's no need for you to send her home. Get lost. Di Biming felt a ball of fire in his heart. Although the matter did not come to an end last time, he inexplicably sensed an impending crisis. This time, seeing the two of them pulling and tugging at each other on the street, he was even more furious. Little sister Jiu is yours? Are you shameless? Did you marry her or did she marry you? Or is she your spiritual pet? You're too controlling. Shue Wooji lazily brushed his hair and said mockingly. On the street, two outstanding men were fighting over the same woman, which immediately ignited the gossip among the onlookers. Ayo, how interesting. That little girl is so bland. I didn't expect her to be so capable. Those two look like they come from extraordinary backgrounds. Even good cabbages have been eaten by pigs. I think the one in white is not bad. I can tell that he is a decent person at a glance. The one in red looks demonic no matter how I look at him. Teske. The one in white looks like he wants to eat people. The one in red is better. He looks easy to get along with. Yoon Chujo saw that the two of them were at daggers drawn, so she raised her hands weakly. Stop quarreling, both of you, send me back together. It's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. Why don't we go back and fight the landlord? Shut up. Di Biming glared at her fiercely. Di Biming, don't scold little sister Jiu. Little sister Jiu is not your subordinate. What right do you have to always be fierce to little sister Jiu? Little sister Jiu, don't be afraid. Big brother will take care of you from now on. Shue Wooji said indignantly. Shue Wooji, it's not your place to tell me what to do. Do you think I'm willing to talk nonsense with you? I just don't like how you treat little sister Jiu. Girls are like delicate flowers that need to be carefully protected. You don't deserve little Jiu with how rough you treat her. You, black thing, come with me. Di Biming could not win against Shue Wooji, so he simply grabbed Yoon Chuji's arm and flew away on his sword. Seeing the two of them leave, Shue Wooji glanced at the surrounding crowd and said, Hua Hua, let those talkative people who speak ill of me learn their lesson. After saying that, Shue Wooji rode his sword and chased after Di Biming and Yoon Chujio. Secret agent Hua Hua was about to make a move when she saw Enfeng walk out from the corner. The two of them looked at each other and smiled bitterly. They quickly beat up the onlookers and then chased after the three people in front of them. The two of them felt so miserable that they cried silently along the way. The two malefactors were actually quarreling in the street. If this were to spread to the Tianyuan continent, it would make people laugh their heads off. Chapter 494. How could he be jealous? Yun Chujo was almost out of breath from Di Biming's embrace. She said pitifully, "Prince Charming, I can't breathe. It'd be better to fly by myself on the chopping board." If Yun Chujo said this normally, Di Biming would not think too much about it. However, after the argument with Xue Wuji, Yun Chujia's words sounded like she did not want to ride the sword with him, like she wanted to stay away from him. Di Biming gripped her harder. "Black thing, you belong to me. Don't even think about leaving me." Yun Chujo felt some pain from Di Biming's pincer-like arm. She could not help but frown. "You're hurting me." "Humph. Xue Wuji is right. You're really like a delicate flower." Di Biming's face was livid, but his grip loosened. Yun Chujo cursed in her heart. This gigolo bastard. How could he be jealous? If she had known this would happen, she would have admitted that those words were originally hers. However, if she admitted it now, the gigolo would definitely think that she and Wuji had joined forces to lie to him. He would probably get angrier. What should she do? If these two really fought, both of them would suffer heavy injuries. Very soon, they arrived at the place where the Linghua faction had set up camp. Di Biming carried Yun Chujo down from the flying sword. Instantly, some female disciples started to whisper among themselves with jealousy. "This Yun Chujo is amazing. When she went off, she was with Yun Chuling. Now she's back with young Master Di. She has one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Comparing people is so infuriating." That's right. This Yun Chujo is just lucky. She could even pass through the Wuwei Tower. What does this man count as? Who knows, she might change to another in a few days. While they were talking happily, they were suddenly forced to kneel on the ground by a terrifying pressure. Di Biming looked at them coldly. "Do you want to die?" The female disciples did not doubt that if they said yes, Di Biming would really kill them. "Get lost." Di Biming waved his sleeve, and the female disciples scrambled away. "Prince Charming, you are so handsome. I like your clear-cut personality the most. You should treat me as warm as spring, and as cruel and merciless as the cold winter. Prince Charming, are you tired? Sit down and rest for a while. I'll massage your shoulders for you." Yun Chujo said obsequiously. Di Biming snorted coldly and ignored her. His eyes were burning with anger as he looked at Xue Wuji, who was flying over on his sword. Yun Chujo rolled her eyes. She turned around and ran into the temporary meeting room. "Sect Master! Sect Master! My Prince Charming and Wuji are about to fight. Just say that you'll treat them to a meal. Hurry up. If they fight, both of them will be injured. Besides, they may be able to help in the competition in 2 days." When Master Xianyuan heard this, he quickly brought a group of elders outside. As expected, Di Biming and Xue Wuji were like two roosters fighting for luck. "Young Master Di, young Master Yun, long time no see. Please come in," Master Xianyuan said with a smile. Although Di Biming and Xue Wuji didn't think much of the Linghua sect, because of Yun Chujo, they were still polite to Master Xianyuan. When Yun Chujo saw that the two of them didn't directly reject him, so she directly grabbed Di Biming's arm and pulled him in. As long as the pretty boy was restrained, Wuji would not take the initiative to start a fight unless he wanted to be tortured. As expected, Xue Wuji's eyes flashed when he saw Di Biming enter the meeting room and followed him in. Chapter 495. Black Chicken Head was about to cause trouble after everyone exchanged pleasantries. Master Xianyuan briefly talked about the matter of the Wuwei Tower trial. Xue Wuji said with pride, "Little Sister Jiu is really smart. How can those idiots compare to Little Sister Jiu? Not to mention the 9th floor. Even if it was the 90th floor, Little Sister Jiu would be able to pass it." If it was any other time, Yun Chujo would have been smug when she heard Xue Wuji's words. However, it was an emergency now, so it was better to keep a low profile. Otherwise, the gigolo would be furious again. Hence, she just smiled and did not say anything. Little Sister Jiu is not only smart but also modest. If it were any other person, they would have been smug already. Look at Little Sister Jiu, she is calm and collected. I admire her. Shue Wuji spoke with confidence and assurance. Yun Chujo was so angry that she gritted her teeth. Is this black chicken head looking for trouble? Yun Chujo glared at him. She did not expect Shue Wuji to immediately say, Little Sister Jo, why are you winking at me? Do you want to have a private conversation with me? Di Baiming's eyes were like knives as he looked at Yun Chujo. Yun Chujo shrunk her neck. She was about to cry because of Shue Wuji's stupidity. She did not know what this idiot was planning. It was obvious that he wanted to cause trouble. Master Xianyuan saw that the atmosphere was tense and quickly changed the topic. Little Jo, I haven't had the chance to ask you. Why did you get a negative score in the first place when you were training in the Wuwei Tower? Yun Chujo blinked her eyes and laughed dryly. Hehe, it's actually nothing much. I just dug out the spirit stones from each layer of the formation discs, and I even packed a few for myself. Everyone, what the hell? You went to practice and then packed the other person's formation disc? What was the difference between this and going to a restaurant to eat, and then packing the other person's food? It was too lenient to just give you a negative score. This girl was so greedy that she had reached a new realm of greed. After Elder Chu recovered from his shock, his eyes lit up as he said, Little Jo, quickly take out that formation disc. This old man has opened his eyes. Yun Chujo said in a narrow-minded manner, Okay, I'll take it out, but you can't snatch it. This is something that I worked hard to dig out. The corners of everyone's eyes twitched. Why did it feel so awkward to see the word work hard used here? Yun Chujo took out a formation disc and placed it on the ground. Everyone gathered around and clicked their tongues in wonder. Shue Wuji also came over curiously. Yo, the material of this formation disc is made of 10,000-year-old black iron. It's really extravagant. Yun Chujo really did not look carefully. When she heard Shue Wuji say that, she immediately laughed. Ha ha ha. I'm rich. I'm rich. It's really a pity that I can only enter the Wuwei Tower once. Otherwise, I'll definitely go 10 or 8 times and get all the formation discs. Everyone. Master Xianyuan looked at the groove on the formation disc. Little Jo, what kind of spirit stones are inside? Yun Chujo answered without hesitation, high-grade spirit stones. Each of them contains 10 high-grade spirit stones. Master Xuanyuan's eyes flashed as he thought to himself, You little girl, who are you trying to fool? The materials of the array board were all so rare. How could there be high-grade spirit stones in the grooves? It must be top-grade spirit stones. This little girl had profited quite a lot in this trial. Elder Chu was unable to put it down. However, Yun Chujo had spoken first, so he had no choice but to let Yun Chujo keep the formation disc and prepare to return to the sect to borrow it for research. Oh right, little nine, how did you discover the formation core? Do you know formations? Elder Chu asked curiously. Chapter 496. Was too shocking, I don't know. I don't know anything about formations. I've never learned it before. Yun Chujo shrugged her shoulders and said, Then how did you find the formation core? Everyone was puzzled. It was not easy to find the formation core. If it was a coincidence, then finding one was understandable. However, finding so many in a row was definitely not a coincidence. I originally didn't know how to do it, but when I was bored in the library, I flipped through books on formations. After learning about it on the spot, I sold off the book. Of course, I didn't learn it so easily. In the beginning, I looked at the wrong places. Later, I got used to it, so I checked specific spots. Practice makes perfect. Yun Chujo said lightly. Everyone looked like they had nothing left to live for. Was this fellow's existence used to strike at our confidence? After flipping through a book, she could immediately learn the skill? Formations were the most difficult of the 4 arts of cultivators. Not everyone could learn it. One had to have a strong spiritual sense and comprehension. Many people couldn't even learn a 3rd-level formation after learning it for decades. Yun Chujo, just by blindly guessing and immediately learning from a book, found the core of the ancient formation? This was too ridiculous. As expected, those blessed by heaven were different from us normal people. Little Sister Jo, you are amazing. I have never admired anyone since I was young. From now on you are my idol. Shue Wuji leaned on Yun Chuji's side and said in a flattering manner. Yun Chujo felt Di Baiming's cold breath coming out from her side. She did not dare to respond to Xue Wuji's words. She smiled foolishly and did not dare say anything. Little Joe, what is the content of the 9th stage? Master Linghua did not even reach it. How did you manage to do it? Master Xianyuan quickly changed the topic when he saw the veins on Di Baiming's forehead bulging. The 9th stage has about 1,000 jade bottles. Out of the 1,000, only one contains pills that are not poisonous. I had to choose one according to that shameless old weapon spirit. Yun Chuzhou was tactful and cooperated with Master Xianyuan. Furthermore, you can't check the contents. You can only choose one based on your gut feeling. After you choose, you have to eat the pill. If there is no poison, you will pass. Otherwise, you will be ejected from the tower. Yun Chuzhou tactfully explained to Master Xianyuan. Choose one out of 1,000? Isn't this too difficult? It wouldn't be too bad if you could still check the bottle, but having to choose based on your gut feeling, then you can only rely on luck. Little Joe, how did you decide? Did you really choose a random one? Elder Qi asked curiously. No, I have a trick. Yun Chuzhou giggled as she kept them guessing. What trick? There's a trick to tell the difference between the bottles? Everyone's curiosity was piqued by Yun Chuzhou. Ha ha ha. My trick is to turn around 3 times with my eyes closed, pick a random one, open the lid and swallow the pill inside. Then, if I'm still alive and kicking, that stingy tool spirit said that I passed. Yun Chuzhou even admired herself. My ability to spout nonsense is getting better and better, little sister Jiu. Didn't you say that the old tool spirit resented you for taking its formation disc? Why would it agree to give you infinite points? Xue Wuji's presence could be felt anytime and anywhere. I threatened it. If it didn't swear to give me the points, I wouldn't choose a bottle. I would set up camp on the 9th floor. I even took out the recliner. Later on, that old tool spirit got dizzy and agreed to give me points after it got up. Everyone sympathized with the Wuwei Tower's Qi Ling. It was truly unlucky to meet such a perverted little demon. No one had heard of anyone going to the trial and even threatening the Qi Ling. Chapter 497. I don't belong to anyone. The group chatted for a while longer until it was time for dinner. Originally, Master Xianyuan wanted to hold a banquet, but Yun Chuzhou suggested that it would be better if everyone barbecued meat. It would be more lively as they ate and chatted. Master Xianyuan was in a good mood, so he agreed to Yun Chuzhou's suggestion. Yun Chuzhou was afraid that Di Baiming and Xue Wuji would fight again, so she was like a hard-working bee. She busied herself non-stop to avoid becoming the focus of the conflict. Yun Chuzhou personally roasted a wind-edge rabbit. She brushed the top of it with eupatorium honey, and a strange fragrance assailed her nose. Xue Wuji sniffed and came up to her. Little sister Joe, your cooking is really good. The smell of this rabbit is overflowing. It's crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. It must be very delicious. Can you let me try a rabbit leg? Yun Chuzhou did not think too much. She broke off a rabbit leg and handed it to Xue Wuji. Xue Wuji was not afraid of the heat, so after taking a bite, he looked at Di Baiming provocatively. TSK, the rabbit meat that little sister Joe baked personally is really delicious. I have eaten so many delicacies, but none of them are as delicious as this rabbit leg. Yun Chuzhou wanted to strangle this idiot. Het must have done it on purpose. Di Baiming's manner grew cold. Yun Chuzhou felt a bone-piercing chill beside the bonfire. She quickly broke off a rabbit leg and handed it to Di Baiming. Prince Charming, Brother Wuji's leg is the front leg. It has little meat, but yours is just the back leg. It has more meat. Try my cooking. How is it? When Di Baiming heard Yun Chuzhou's words, the cold air surrounding him faded a little. He took the rabbit leg and took a bite. He said coldly, "It's okay. Di Baiming, how did your tongue grow? Is it just for decoration? How can you say it's okay with such delicious rabbit meat? I think you should go see a doctor for your tongue." Xue Wuji said provocatively. He did not know what was going on with him. Anyway, he was extremely displeased when he saw little sister Joe treating Di Baiming. He wanted to stab Di Baiming a few times. Di Baiming threw the rabbit leg on the ground and suddenly stood up. "Xue Wuji, come over with me." "Humph. If you want to go over there, then go. Do you think I'm afraid of you? I just want to stretch my limbs." Xue Wuji also threw the rabbit leg in his hand and said provocatively. The two of them were at daggers drawn. The strong smell of gunpowder caused the scene to fall into a strange silence. Just as Master Xianyuan and the others were about to stop them, Yun Chujo picked up the 2 rabbit legs on the ground and threw them at Xue Wuji and Di Baiming. Fuck! Are you 2 done? I worked so hard to roast the rabbit legs and you threw it on the ground just like that? Don't you know what it means to respect the results of other people's work? If you want to fight, then get lost and fight. Don't treat me like a maid. Also, I don't belong to anyone. I didn't belong to anyone in the past, I don't belong to anyone now, and I don't belong to anyone in the future. If anyone wants to threaten me with power, feelings or benefits, get the fuck out of here. At worst, I'll just die. You 2 just have to kill me. After saying that, Yun Chujo kicked over the bonfire and returned to the female disciple's shed in a huff. Everyone was dumbfounded. Oh my god, this Yun Chujo was really scary. She actually used a rabbit's leg to smash these 2 malefic stars. She even scolded them. These 2 malefic stars must be enraged. We should stay far away to avoid being implicated. Di Baiming and Xue Wuji also did not expect Yun Chujo to suddenly lose her temper. Their faces were filled with astonishment. Both of them glared at each other. They rode their swords and left. However, they went in opposite directions. Chapter 498. Young Master, are you tempted? Xue Wuji cursed as he flew. It's all because of that stone-faced Di Baiming. If it wasn't for him, little sister Jiu and I would have been having a great time. Little sister Jiu is smart and good at talking. The roasted meat was so delicious. That stone face doesn't deserve little sister Jiu at all. He still bullies little sister Jiu all the time. How shameless. He even wants to spar with me. Bah. If I didn't see little sister Jiu getting angry, I would have beaten him up. Behind him, Secret Agent Hua Hua had a worried look on her face. It was over. The young master still refused to admit it. It was obvious that he was already emotionally affected. Why else would he be so angry? What did it have to do with how Di Baiming treated Yun Chujo? Do you still want to fight for justice? Do you still want to beat Di Baiming up? It was still uncertain who would beat who up. While Secret Agent Hua Hua was cursing in her heart, Xue Wuji turned around and flew back. Young master, where are you going? Humph. Little sister Jiu must be very sad right now. Since Di Baiming's stone face is gone, I will go and comfort little sister Jiu. She will surely be very touched. Humph. How can that blockhead Di Baiming be as good as me in picking up girls? Xue Wuji said proudly. Young master, are you tempted? Secret Agent Hua Hua braced herself and asked. Tempted? Why would I be tempted? This young master just couldn't stand Di Baiming treating little sister Jiu like this. The thing this young master was most willing to do was to make Di Baiming unhappy. Hua Hua, is it because this young master won't punish you recently that you think this young master is too easy to talk to? Do I need you to ask about my matters? Said Xue Wuji unhappily with a gloomy face. Young master, I have crossed the line. Please punish me. If they were not in the air, Secret Agent Hua Hua would have knelt and apologized. Humph. I'll overlook it this time. It won't happen again. Xue Wuji was in a hurry to comfort Yun Chujo. After saying this, he quickly flew toward Mount Wuwei. Secret Agent Hua Hua wiped the cold sweat on her head and sighed in her heart. Young master is just being stubborn. Di Baiming and Yun Chujo are in love with each other. If you interfere, Di Baiming will definitely attack our Blood Devil sect. You are just looking for trouble. On the other side, Di Baiming's face was ashen. He flew hundreds of li away in one breath and landed in a desolate area. With a casual palm, he smashed a huge mountain rock into powder. Bai Li and Yun Chujo were already dead. Di Baiming felt that if he did not vent the anger in his heart, it was as if his entire body would explode. When he saw Heishi and Xue Wuji chatting and laughing, he wished he could slap Xue Wuji to death. Damn Xue Wuji. If it was not for him, Heishi would not be angry with his original body. After Di Baiming smashed the surrounding mountain rocks into pieces, he thought to himself, no. He had to go back. Although Xue Wuji had also left, there was no guarantee that he would secretly go back. He had to hurry back as soon as possible. When Di Baiming thought of this, he rode his sword and flew back to the Wuwei Tower's camp. From afar he saw Xue Wuji coming towards him. Xue Wuji also saw Di Baiming and could not help but curse in his heart. This expressionless man had actually returned. He must have the same idea as this young master. He definitely could not let him succeed. This young master wanted to rush in front of little sister Zhou to gain a good impression of her. Xue Wuji thought of this and sped up. Seeing this, Di Baiming also sped up. The two of them flew like two meteors towards the Linghua faction camp. However, when the two of them saw the scene in front of them, they were dumbfounded. Chapter 499. It was a good time for those two idiots to leave. The two of them could only see the Linghua faction camp filled with laughter. Yun Chuzhou was beaming with joy as she played cards with Feng Ming and the others. Although it was already late, Yun Chuzhou took out the illuminating pearl that she had dug out from Xue Wuji's place. The entire camp was as bright as day. Yun Chuzhia's small face was smiling like a flower. She was not heartbroken at all as the two of them were worried. She was simply overjoyed. Just now, after Di Baiming and Xue Wuji left, the atmosphere in the camp had also stagnated. Master Xinyuan and the others were worried that something might have happened to Yun Chuzhou. Just as they were about to go in and persuade her, they saw her jumping out with a smile. The two idiots have left. Let's continue to roast meat. We don't want them to ruin our atmosphere here. Everyone. Junior sister Xiao Zhou, weren't you really angry just now? You look too scary just now. Feng Ming came over and asked. Humph. I'm not stupid. Anger hurts my body. I won't punish myself for other people's mistakes. It's good that the two idiots have left. That way we can have more fun. Hurry up and eat, then we can play faster. Yun Chuzhou was indeed a little angry. However, it was not as serious as it seemed. Seeing that Di Baiming and Xue Wuji were not going to stop, she simply took the opportunity to scold the two of them. Seeing Di Baiming and Xue Wuji return, this guy acted as if nothing had happened. She greeted the two of them with a smile. Prince Charming, Brother Wuji, are you guys done with your sparring? It seems that the exchange between the two of you is very civilized. There is no injury at all. Di Baiming snorted coldly, but Xue Wuji said with a smile, Little sister Zhou, Big Brother made a mistake just now. What are you guys playing? Count Big Brother in. Yun Chuzhou nodded. It's good that you know your mistakes and can change. Prince Charming, what do you say? Di Baiming's face was livid. He wished he could just leave. However, if he left, wouldn't he be giving Xue Wuji a chance? He said coldly, it won't happen again. Senior brother Feng Ming, I'm not playing anymore. Find someone else to replace me. Prince Charming, Brother Wuji, come let's play Fight the Landlord. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Xue Wuji hurriedly said, all right. Today, I will make you both lose until you cry. Seeing that Di Baiming did not move, Yun Chuzhou stood up and grabbed Di Baiming's arm. Prince Charming, Brother Wuji said that he will beat us until we cry. Are you afraid of him? Di Baiming snorted and sat down. The three of them began to fight. Master Xianyuan saw that the three of them had finally stopped and could not help but let out a long sigh. He felt that his old heart had withstood the harsh test in the past few days. Young people really knew how to play. One moment they were showing off their love, and the next moment they were shouting and fighting. It was too exciting. Of course, Xue Wuji had lost miserably once again. Seeing Xue Wuji's hopeless look, Di Baiming felt that his mood was much better. In the end, Xue Wuji rode his sword and flew away while howling. Hey, Brother Wuji's card skills are as stinky as ever. Prince Charming, I performed well just now, right? I didn't care about you even if I had a big card. I deliberately let you win. Don't be angry with me, okay? Yun Chuzhou pulled Di Baiming's arm and shook it. Di Baiming saw her cute appearance and his heart itched. He said to Master Xianyuan, Little Zhou, and I have some matters to attend to. We will return on the day of the competition. After Di Baiming finished speaking, he did not wait for Master Xianyuan to react before he flew away with Yun Chuzhou on his sword. Chapter 500. I'll save it for you. Master Xianyuan was stunned. Fortunately, young Master Di and little Zhou had already left. Otherwise, how would he, this old man, answer? It's the middle of the night. A man and a woman alone. What are you going to do? Isn't it obvious? However, Young Master D had already lived with little Joe for a long time. He estimated that probably 80% wouldn't really happen, right? Prince Charming, where are you taking me? Yun Chujo asked curiously. Naturally, I'm going to find a place to sleep. Let's go to Wei City, Di Biming said as he sped up his sword-riding speed. The two of them found a large inn. Originally, there were no rooms in this inn. After Di Biming said that he would pay double the spirit stones, the shopkeeper eagerly vacated a room. The first thing Yun Chujo did when she entered the room was to open the isolation array. Then she began to show off her treasures. Prince Charming, let me tell you. Actually, I'm in the Wuwei Tower. Yun Chujo was about to say that she had gotten a lot of supreme-grade spirit stones in the Wuwei Tower, but she swallowed her words. Was she stupid? If she told the truth, the gigolo would definitely want all the supreme-grade spirit stones. So she was determined to keep quiet. What happened to you in the Wuwei Tower? Di Biming asked curiously. I got a map and a jade token in the Wuwei Tower. I haven't had the chance to look at it yet. My prince, let's take a look together. Yun Chujo took out the sheepskin scroll and the jade token from her storage ring. I've never seen the material of this jade token before. Seems to be used as a key. Maybe it has something to do with this map. Di Biming took the jade token and said after flipping through it, Prince Charming, this map is a mess. Why can't I understand it? Where is this? Yun Chujo frowned and pointed at the map on the table. Di Biming saw that this was a map made from the skin of the poison-horned antelope. The poison-horned antelope was an ancient demon beast that was basically extinct now. The map made from its skin could be preserved for tens of thousands of years. There were several messy curves drawn on the poison-horned antelope's skin. Other than the fact that it was basically a mountain peak near the sea, nothing else could be seen. I knew that stingy old Qiling didn't have any good intentions. He gave me such a useless piece of junk. Fortunately, I cleverly extorted 100 supreme-grade spirit stones from it. Otherwise, I would have suffered a great loss. Yun Chujo wanted to strangle herself the moment she finished speaking. Damn it. It slipped out. The fellow quickly tried to make up for it. I made a mistake with my stupid mouth. It was 20 supreme-grade spirit stones. I originally wanted 100, but it didn't agree. Di Biming's eyes flashed. He said nonchalantly, It doesn't matter if it's 100 or 20. It was you who extorted it anyway. I'm not interested. However, I think that the Wuwei Tower's Qiling must have existed for tens of thousands of years and must be very difficult to deal with. It's already pretty good that you could get 20 spirit stones. It's impossible for you to get 100 spirit stones. Yun Chujo straightened her back when she heard what Di Biming said. Humph. No matter how smart he is, how can he be as smart as me? Not only did I get 100 supreme-grade spirit stones from it, I even got 100 spirit stones from the formation discs. Di Biming nodded and stretched out his hand. Supreme-grade spirit stones are too rare. It's not safe to keep them with you. I'll keep them for you. When the second round of the competition comes, I'll find a chance to tell you so that you won't be targeted. Chapter 501. I want to see the stars. Yun Chujo was dumbfounded. She was usually such a shrewd person. How could she be so unguarded in front of this gigolo? How could she let him get the truth out of her just like that? Damn it. Why did he say that he would keep it for her? What a lie. If it was just to confuse others, he could have just said it. I have to give it to you for safekeeping. Don't even think about it. It was not easy for me to become a rich person. I can't let the gigolo take away my precious spirit stones. Prince Charming, I'm so sleepy. I'm going to sleep first. Do whatever you want. Yun Chujo took off her coat and climbed to the side of the bed. She closed her eyes and pretended to be asleep. Di Biming raised his eyebrows. Black thing. I have a pair of moonlight begonia boots that are protected from lightning. Do you want them? Yun Chujia's eyelashes trembled. The gigolo must be lying to her. She could not fall for it. Don't tell me you really don't want it? After every lightning strike, you have to waste a pair of boots. These moonlight begonia boots won't have that problem. Most importantly, the boots can not only resist lightning strikes, but it can also increase the wearer's speed. If you encounter danger in a place where flying is prohibited, These moonlight begonia boots are simply the best weapon to escape and save your life with. Yoon Chuji's eyelashes trembled even more. Sob sob. I really want it. However, if she wanted those boots, the gigolo would take away the supreme-grade spirit stones that she had obtained with great difficulty. She really could not bear to part with them. When Di Biming saw this, the corners of his mouth curled up as he continued, Black thing. Do you think you can spend the supreme-grade spirit stones you have? Once you take them out to exchange for them, you will be targeted by others. At that time you'll be in trouble. Do you think it's better to keep them in your storage ring and let them rot? Or do you think it's better to exchange them for this pair of moonlight begonia boots that I'm offering you? Yoon Chujo gritted her teeth, opened her eyes and said, Didn't you say that you gave them to me? Why is it an exchange? It's not impossible to give it to you. That depends on whether I'm happy or not. Di Biming saw that Yoon Chujo no longer pretended to be asleep, and he was very proud of himself. I can leave the spirit stones with you, but you have to write a formal letter for me. Otherwise, what happens if you start acting like a scoundrel again when I use it? Yoon Chujo pouted and said. Di Biming walked to the table, took out a brush, ink, paper and inkstone, and wrote a letter for Yoon Chujo. Yoon Chujo then pouted and handed the 200 supreme-grade spirit stones to Di Biming. Di Biming took out a pair of exquisite little boots from his storage ring and handed it to Yoon Chujo. She jumped off the bed and tried it on. Sure enough, after wearing it, she felt lighter and her aching heart was slightly comforted. Fortunately, she still kept a dozen or so pieces, or else she would really be finished. She had started playing tricks when she was in a bad mood. Prince Charming, I want to go out and look at the stars. Carry me out to look at the stars. Di Biming glared at her. Didn't you just come back from the outside? You've been looking at the stars the whole night. Why do you still want to look at the stars? I don't care. I want to look at the stars anyway. If you don't carry me out, I'll cry. After saying that, the guy sat on the bed and started wailing. Black thing, stop wailing. Go to sleep. Di Biming felt a headache. He knew that Yoon Chujo was acting like a demon because he confiscated her spirit stones. Fortunately, the isolation array was activated in the room so no one could hear her. I don't want to. I want to see the stars. Wah. I want to see the stars. Yoon Chujo did not have a single tear at the corner of her eye. She was acting like a demon. Di Biming could not take it anymore. He directly pressed Yoon Chujo onto the bed and kissed her. Chapter 502. That Tsundra's illness can be cured. The two of them lingered for quite a while. Yoon Chuji's little face flushed red as she glared at Di Biming. Then she feigned fierceness and said, I'm sleepy. Quickly sing a lullaby for me. Di Biming was satisfied and in a good mood. He hummed softly and thought to himself, I'm really smart. This is a good way to shut the black thing up. I must use it frequently in the future. The next day, Yoon Chujo dragged Di Biming out for a stroll. I didn't have enough fun yesterday. Today I'm going to have a good stroll. Tomorrow is the second round of the competition. If I don't take a stroll today, I won't have time anymore when we have to return to Spirit Radiance Sect tomorrow. The two of them had just left the inn when they saw Xue Wuji standing in front of them, pretending to be surprised. What a coincidence. Little sister Jo, I didn't expect that we would have a telepathic connection to come to Wuwei City for a holiday. Di Biming looked at Xue Wuji's smug face and wished he could slap him to death. He said coldly, Xue Wuji, I thought you lost so miserably yesterday that you went to commit suicide. I didn't expect you to still be alive. Xue Wuji brushed his hair and said, Humph. Little sister Jo told me before that spirit stones aren't to be brought out. If you lose, so be it. I don't care about it at all. Behind him, Shadow Agent Hua Hua pursed his lips. Young master, don't you feel guilty for saying that? Who was the one who wailed for the entire night yesterday? Di Biming snorted coldly and pulled Yoon Chuji's hand. Black thing, I will take you for a stroll over there. Xue Wuji, don't follow us. Otherwise, I will not be polite to you. Xue Wuji looked up at the sky and ignored Di Biming. However, he followed the two of them closely. Xue Wuji, didn't you hear what I said? Scram. This road doesn't belong to you. I'm going my way and you're going yours. What right do you have to make me leave? Shwewuji was fearless. He thought to himself, I'm not the one who's looking for trouble. If Di Biming takes the initiative to beat me up, little sister Jo will definitely be angry with him. That would be the best. Di Biming was so angry that he gritted his teeth. However, when he thought of what Yun Chujo said yesterday, he endured it and ignored Shwewuji. When Shwewuji saw that Di Biming was ignoring him, he walked to Yun Chuji aside and said, Little sister Jo, yesterday we went to the snack shop, food stores and the bookshop. Where do you want to go today? Yun Chujo saw that Di Biming was staring at her with his dull eyes. She could not help but want to slap this idiot Shwewuji to death. He was really asking for it. Black thing, hand it over. Yun Chujo frowned and handed a book to Di Biming with a pained expression. Fortunately, she had finished reading it last night. Otherwise, her heart would really ache. It was all because of that black chicken's head. He was so stupid. When Di Biming saw the cover of All the Beautiful Husbands, he inexplicably remembered that Yun Chujo had once praised Shwewuji's good looks with a voice transmission talisman. The anger in his heart could no longer be suppressed. Black thing. You didn't take what I said to heart at all. What exactly are you thinking in your heart? You spend all your time reading such nonsense books. Do you want me and Shwewuji to both marry you? You've really let me down. Yun Chujo was about to explain that these books were just for entertainment. She did not have any other thoughts. But Di Biming was so angry that he actually rode his sword and flew away. Yun Chujo was stunned for a moment before she also became angry. Damn it. The gigolo was really sick. He did not give her a chance to explain at all and just ran away. Being arrogant was a sickness that needed to be treated. Damn it, if he was willing to leave, then he should leave. Chapter 503. The gigolo was too overbearing. Little sister Jo, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I let it slip. Shwewuji looked guilty. Yun Chujo said angrily, It's not your fault. That Sundara needs to be taught a lesson. I'm only reading those books to pass the time, but he's already making judgments. His heart is only as big as the eye of a needle. Di Biming is famous for being fussy in the Tianyuan continent. Little sister Jo, don't be angry. It's even better that he left. Big brother will take you around. Shwewuji was overjoyed at that moment. Haha, I'm really smart. Little sister Jo definitely would not have thought that I let it slip on purpose. Di Biming was so angry and just ran away. This is my chance. Shwewuji attentively accompanied Yun Chujo for a whole day. Yun Chujo converted her grief and anger into purchasing power and shopped. Buy. Not only did Shwewuji snatch the spirit stones, but he also bought all the things that Yun Chujo felt she could buy but did not. Shadow Agent Hua Hua had a look of despair. It was over. Their young master had definitely fallen into this trap. Young master, there are thousands of women in this world. Why did you have to like the same woman as Di Biming? You're definitely looking for trouble. It was only when the sun was setting that the two of them returned to Spirit Radiant Sect's camp. Shwewuji lingered for a while and promised to return the next day to support the sect. Only then did he get on his sword and leave. Sect Master Xianyuan was very puzzled. Didn't little Jo leave with young Master Di yesterday? Why was she sent back by this Yun Chuling today? Things between young people were really hard to understand. There was a small stream beside Spirit Radiant Sect's camp. Yun Chujo was in a bad mood, so she sat by the stream and picked up the pebbles by the side and threw them into the stream. Although she did not show it on the surface, she felt a little sad and a little wronged. The gigolo was really too overbearing. Although those books were a little vulgar, she just wanted to enjoy them. Was there a need for him to be so angry? He even said that she wanted him and Shwewuji to both marry her. He was really too detestable. He left her when he was angry. If they got married in the future, he would definitely run away from home when he was angry. When that time came, she would hug her baby and silently cry. Just thinking about it was upsetting, right? This time she would definitely not lower her head first. She had to control this bad habit of his. Wow, someone actually went out with a man for a night yesterday and was sent back by another man. She isn't old, but she really has some tricks to seduce men. She's the first person to pass the Wuwei Tower trial. She's even more powerful than our junior sister Sue, so she's naturally not simple. She just got lucky. Junior sister Sue is the real genius. She is just a good-for-nothing in the 4th level of spirit enhancement, so what if she passed the 9th level? Although she's a good-for-nothing, she knows how to seduce men. I think besides those 2 men, there are 3 male disciples in Spirit Radiance sect who are interested in her. It is said that she's one of the 3 heroes of Spirit Radiance sect. That's right. I wonder if those 2 young masters have bad eyesight. They actually took a fancy to this trash. Yun Chujia's eyes darkened. Damn. They were really unlucky. It was just the right time to vent her anger on them. Yun Chujo turned around and saw 2 women standing behind her, both wearing Heavenly Gate sect's inner disciple attire. When the 2 saw Yun Chujo turning around to look at them, one of the round-faced women said arrogantly, "What are you looking at? Since you've done such a shameless thing, don't be afraid of others talking about it." Chapter 504. Draw a little bastard on your face if you 2 don't want to get beaten up, then get lost. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Yun Chujo felt that it was better to give a verbal warning first. When the time came, she would take the most sensible action. Haha. Haha. This is so funny. One of us is at the 9th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm, and the other is at the 1st level of the Spirit Cultivator realm. She, a useless person at the 4th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm, said that she wants to beat us up. Is she crazy? The round-faced woman laughed so hard that she staggered back and forth, and the other long-faced woman was also laughing so hard that she was trembling. Yun Chujo smiled and took out the isolation array from her storage ring. After she activated it, she said with a smile, "Both of you are seriously ill. In that case, I will enlighten you." Before Yun Chujo finished her sentence, she had already arrived behind the round-faced woman. She raised her right foot and kicked the back of the woman's waist. The round-faced woman did not even have the time to react and was already kicked into the stream. Coincidentally, her head bumped into a rock, causing her head to bleed and faint immediately. When the long-faced woman saw this, she attacked Yun Chujo. "Stinky girl. How dare you ambush me? I will kill you." Yun Chujo easily dodged her attack and sneered. "You want to kill me? Come on, I want to see you try." The long-faced woman saw that Yun Chujia's movement was extremely fast and a trace of viciousness flashed in her eyes. She gathered her spiritual power in her right palm and after forming a seal, 6 wind blades charged toward Yun Chujo. "Stinky girl. I will kill you today. Our sect leader hates you to death. Even if I kill you, our sect leader will still keep my life. Perhaps he will even accept me as a successor disciple." When the long-faced woman saw that Yun Chujo did not dodge, she was very pleased with herself. This Yun Chujo is most likely scared silly. This time she's definitely going to die. When the time comes, I'll bring the corpse back to receive a reward. Who would have thought that Yun Chujo would suddenly leap more than 3 meters high on the spot? After dodging the wind blades, she directly kicked the woman. The long-faced woman was still secretly pleased with herself. After being kicked by Yun Chujo, she also landed in the stream. The round-faced woman had already woken up and was about to get up, but she did not expect to be knocked unconscious by the long-faced woman again. Yun Chujo walked to the side of the long-faced woman and pressed her acupoints. She gave her a good beating and then stepped on her chest. She took out a large kitchen knife and placed it on her neck. "Hand over all the spirit stones in your storage bag, or I'll draw a little bastard on your face." The long-faced woman gritted her teeth and said, "Damn girl. How dare you treat us like this? Our sect will not forgive you." Yun Chujo smiled at her and then took the large kitchen knife and cut her face. The woman cried out in pain. Seeing that Yun Chujo was going to continue cutting, the woman was so scared that she quickly transferred all the spirit stones in her storage bag to Yun Chujo. "That's all? It seems that you really want to have a little bastard on your face." Yun Chujo took the kitchen knife and cut her again. The woman screamed, "There's really nothing left. Senior Sister Lee has some. Wake her up. She's richer than me." Yun Chujo could not help but sneer in her heart. The saying "a friend dies, but not you" was very much true. Yun Chujo kicked the round-faced woman. When the round-faced woman woke up and was about to attack, Yun Chujo stepped forward and pressed her acupoints. After beating her up, she said, "Your junior sister said that you're very rich. Hand over your spirit stones. Or else I'll draw a little bastard on your face too." Chapter 505. Who was going to kill who? The round-faced woman glared at the long-faced woman, and then saw the two bloody marks on her face. She reluctantly gave Yun Chujo some spirit stones. "That's it? It seems that you really want to be sisters with your junior sister. Then I'll grant you your wish." Yun Chujo was about to make a move with her big kitchen knife. The round-faced woman was so frightened that she quickly transferred all the spirit stones in her storage bag to Yun Chujo and begged repeatedly, "Miss Yun, I have eyes but I didn't recognize greatness in front of me. I've already given you all the spirit stones, so please let me go." Yun Chujo blinked her eyes and said, "How about this? I'm in a good mood today. One of you can go back alive. If either of you can take out any more valuable things, I'll let you go." The long-faced woman quickly said, "Miss Yun, I have 3 stocks of low-grade, black category jobs tiers." The round-faced woman saw the situation and hated the long-faced woman even more. She said loudly, "I have 5 stocks of mid-grade, black category sky blue sunflower. I also have 2 tier 5 demonic beasts inner cores. Miss Yun, her inner cores aren't valuable. I have 3 tier 6 demonic beasts inner cores." Yun Chujo sneered as she watched the two of them compete to take out valuable items. Naturally, she accepted them one by one with a smile. Later, seeing that the items taken out by the two of them were becoming less and less valuable, she tapped their mute acupoints and then withdrew the isolation array. She shouted at the top of her voice, "Help! Help! The people of the Heavenly Gate sect want to kill me. Quick, someone come. Help!" When the people from Spirit Radiance sect heard Yun Chujia's shout, Master Xinyuan and the others immediately rushed over. They were almost scared out of their wits. Master Xinyuan rushed to the scene of the incident with a few leaps and was dumbfounded. Who exactly wanted to kill who? There were 2 female disciples of the Heavenly Gate sect lying in the stream. One of them had blood on her forehead, and the other had 2 cuts on her face. From the looks of it, it was obvious that they had been badly beaten up. "Little Jiao, are you sure that they want to kill you and not vice versa? Besides, even if you want to frame them, you have to make the scene more realistic. In this situation, no matter who comes, they will think that you want to kill them." Just as Master Xinyuan was in a daze, the people of the Heavenly Gate sect arrived. The Heavenly Gate sect's camp was close to Spirit Radiance sect's camp. So Du Gai and the others also heard Yun Chujia's shout. Du Gai was stunned. He had not instructed his disciples to kill Yun Chujio. What was going on? Thus, Du Gai also brought some people from the Heavenly Gate sect and rushed over. Du Gai saw the scene in front of him and immediately he was furious. "Yun Chujio. So you're a thief shouting robbery. You're clearly the one who beat up our Heavenly Gate sect's disciples, but you actually twisted it. Master Xinyuan, you have to give me an explanation for this matter. Otherwise, our Heavenly Gate sect will never let this go." Master Xinyuan coughed dryly. "Little Jiao, what exactly is going on?" Yun Chujo frowned. Her face was filled with indignation. "It went like this. I sat by the stream to enjoy the scenery, and then these 2 senior sisters scolded me. They said that it was because of me that the Heavenly Gate sect went from number 1 to number 4. If they kill me, Master Dugu will definitely reward them, so they took action." Du Gai sneered. "Yun Chujo, do you think that everyone here is blind? You're unharmed, and the 2 of them are covered in wounds. Who wants to kill who?" Yun Chujo said unhurriedly, "Of course they want to kill me. It's a pity that they aren't skilled. Moreover, I have the defensive spirit tool that you gave me. So not only did they not kill me, but they were beaten up by me instead. I was quite useless to begin with. I didn't expect that the 2 of them were even more useless. They couldn't even defeat me. I heard from sect leader Du that you're quite regretful that they weren't able to kill me, right? Could it be that you sent them to kill me?" Chapter 506. Suffered a critical hit of 100,000 points. Nonsense. Why would I send these 2 good-for-nothings to kill you? Du Gai shouted angrily. "Ah, do you mean to send someone powerful to kill me? Heavens! How innocent the first am. Fairy Yume Daoisjini, you two came at the right time. The people of the Heavenly Gate sect want to kill me. Sob sob. I'm scared to death. Yun Chujo ran to Fairy Yume's side, face full of grief. Fairy Yume and Daoisjini also heard Yun Chujia's heart-wrenching cries, so they hurried over. However, their camp was a little far away, so they were a step late. The two of them also looked at the two female disciples of the Heavenly Gate sect who were still lying in the stream, and then looked at the lively Yun Chujo. Did they hear wrongly? It was not the Heavenly Gate sect who wanted to kill Yun Chujo, but Yun Chujo who wanted to kill the people of the Heavenly Gate sect, right? Sob sob. Do you see that they're in a worse state than me, so you thought that I wanted to kill them? Heaven and earth have a conscience. They didn't learn well, and I have the defensive spiritual tool that you two gave me, so I survived. Moreover, I know that their spiritual power is higher than mine, and there are two of them. Would I take the initiative to provoke them? Maybe if I was a fool. Why aren't they saying anything to defend themselves? Because they're guilty. Does the good person have to be killed to determine that the person alive is a murderer and villain? You two are reasonable people, so you definitely wouldn't think so. You two must help me make a decision. My young mind suffered a critical hit of 100,000 points. Oh right. Sect leader Du just said that he regretted sending these two good-for-nothings to kill me. It would have been better if he had sent two powerful ones to kill me. Listen, as the sect leader of a sect, he actually sought revenge for the smallest grievance. Just because their Heavenly Gate sect got 4th place, he wants to kill me. This is too vicious. Sob sob. My little life has been seriously threatened. Who knows? He might even hate you two. In any case, he hates those who are stronger than his Heavenly Gate sect. He felt that other than their Heavenly Gate sect, no other sect should be ranked first. If you think about it carefully, if the second round of the competition is held tomorrow, and if the Bixiao Palace and Immortal Sword sect had a disciple who was ranked first, he would also have to send someone to kill them. After Yun Chujo said that long sentence, she did not stop in the middle. Du Gai was so angry that his face and neck was red. He wanted to interrupt a few times, but he was drowned out by Yun Chujia's clear voice. Fairy Yume and Daoisjini were both stunned. How could this little girl have such a large mouth? She was really too talkative. However, the two of them believed her by about 80%. What the little girl said made sense. She had no motive to kill the two disciples of the Heavenly Gate sect. On the other hand, it was Du Gai, the old man, who suffered a loss in the Wuwei Tower trials. It was inevitable that he would feel indignant, so the disciples of the sect had to kill him. Du Gai was narrow-minded and was really capable of doing such a thing. Fortunately, this little girl had a defensive spirit tool on her. Moreover, she had a lot of shrewdness, which was why she had escaped death. Du Gai saw that Fairy Yume and Daoisjini were deep in thought. He shouted angrily, Yun Chujo is spouting nonsense. I didn't send them to kill Yun Chujo at all. Even if they really wanted to kill Yun Chujo, it was their own decision that had nothing to do with me. When the two women in the stream heard Du Gai's words, they were scared out of their wits. If the sect leader gave up on us, then Spirit Radiant sect will not forgive us. Previously, the two of them wanted to defend themselves, but they could not make a sound. In their desperation, the round-faced woman realized that she could make a sound and quickly shouted, I didn't want to kill Miss Yun. I only scolded her a few times. It was junior sister Chi who wanted to kill Miss Yun. Chapter 507. My little heart. When the long-faced woman heard that the round-faced woman had pushed all the blame onto her, she glared at the round-faced woman angrily, then she cried out. It was clearly senior sister Li who scolded Yun Chujo for seducing a man first. She was so shameless. Furthermore, she was the one who made the first move to kill Miss Yun. She was kicked into the stream by Miss Yun. I only made the first move to save her. Nonsense. You were the one who scolded Miss Yun first. Furthermore, you used a wind blade to kill her. However, you didn't manage to kill her and were kicked into the water by Miss Yun instead. Du Gai almost spat out a mouthful of blood. There was no need to ask anymore. These two idiots had sold each other out. When Yun Chujo heard the two women say that, she immediately howled, Oh my God! My injustice has finally been cleared. Not only did I almost lose my life at such a young age, but I was also backstabbed and slandered as a murderer. My little heart feels too uncomfortable. If there isn't anything to comfort me, my heart will be broken and I will die. The corners of everyone's eyes twitched. This fellow was trying to make Heavenly Gate sect compensate her. Du Gai felt that if he did not find an opportunity to kill Yun Chujio sooner or later, he would be angered to the point of vomiting blood and die. Du Gai squeezed out a smile and said, "Little girl, this is all a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. When I return to the sect, I will definitely punish these two disciples severely. As for the injuries you suffered, I will give you a middle-grade spirit tool, okay?" Yun Chujio howled even louder. Wow, wow. My little life is so worthless. My little heart, my little arms, and my calves are so scared that they're not listening to me anymore. Du Gai took a deep breath and tried to persuade himself in his heart. Only then did he manage to hold back the thought of strangling Yun Chujio. He gritted his teeth and said, 2 middle-grade spirit tools should be enough, right? Yun Chujio's sobs suddenly stopped. She giggled and stretched out her small claws. All right then. Since you're so generous, I won't pursue the matter. Du Gai threw 2 middle-grade spirit tools to Yun Chujio. He ignored the 2 female disciples who were soaking in the stream. He cupped his hands toward Fairy Yumei and Taoist Jinny and left angrily. Fortunately, there were a few female disciples from the Heavenly Gate sect who helped the 2 women out of the stream. At this time, their acupuncture points were automatically opened. Although the 2 hated Yun Chujio, they hated each other even more and kept scolding each other. If it were not for someone pulling them, they would probably have started fighting. Fairy Yumei looked at Yun Chujio with a smile. Little girl, your little mouth really knows how to talk. They're so. It's mainly because I'm in the right. Besides, it's also because you and Taoist Jinny were backing me up. Who doesn't know that you 2 are the most fair and won't leave me to die? If it weren't for the 2 of you, Sect Master Du might have killed me to silence me. Yun Chujio smiled and put on a high hat for the 2 of them. Fairy Yumei smiled. Although this little girl was a little greedy, she was still very likable. Fairy Yumei, Taoist Jinny, and Master Xinyuan exchanged a few more pleasantries before they bade farewell and left. Qi Pianpian and Wu Yinyu shrunk their necks. After seeing the miserable state of the 2 female disciples of Heavenly Gate sect, they finally knew how terrifying Yun Chujio was. It was better for them to not provoke her in the future. After Yun Chujio was done beating people up and making a small fortune, her mood improved. She followed everyone to the camp. When she arrived at the camp, she saw Di Biming with a livid face staring at her with soulless eyes. Chapter 508. The shameless scum who murdered his own wife Master Xinyuan, and the others felt that the cold air around Di Biming could freeze them. They gave Yun Chujio a look of self-seeking and all of them ran away. Di Biming originally thought that Yun Chujio would run over to apologize when she saw him. He did not expect Yun Chujio to straighten her little body and walk past Di Biming with her head held high as if she did not know Di Biming at all. Di Biming gritted his teeth. Black thing, stop right there. Yun Chujio acted as if she did not hear him and continued hopping forward. Black thing. I said stop right there. Yun Chujio still ignored Di Biming and jumped even more happily. Di Biming felt that he was about to explode. With a wave of his sleeve, Yun Chujio realized that she could not move anymore. However, this girl still ignored Di Biming and kept her silence to the end. Black thing, didn't you hear me calling you? Di Biming was even more furious when he saw Yun Chujio's fearless look. I'm not Black thing. My name is Yun Chujio and some people call me Little Jio. What the hell is Black thing? I'm not black anyway. Who knows who you're calling? Yun Chujio snorted coldly. Little fellow, since you're willing to come back, you must be regretting it. If you still want to act pretentious, dream on. Today, I'll serve you your arrogant and stinky habit. Black thing, you've grown wings, haven't you? Do you think I can't do anything to you? Di Biming's eyes were filled with fire as he stared fiercely at Yun Chujio. You're so powerful, of course you have a way. Aren't you just going to kill me? Then just kill me. Anyway, I don't think there's any meaning in living. I was just reading salacious books to kill time. What's so evil about that? How is it that I've offended you? Yun Chujio was going all out. Anyway, the gigolo would not beat her up, so why should she be afraid of him? From now on, she would be the master. You're twisting the truth. There are so many kinds of books. Why do you only look at the vulgar ones? Di Biming wanted to strangle her to death. Vulgar? How is it vulgar? I didn't look at the erotic pictures. How am I vulgar? Yun Chujo said confidently. You actually want to look at that kind of thing. Black thing, I must teach you a good lesson today. Di Biming held Yun Chujo by her waist and slapped her butt hard. Yun Chujo immediately howled like a pig being slaughtered. Gigolo. You actually dare to hit my little butt. My little butt is going to be smashed. Sob sob. Gigolo, you shameless scum who murdered his wife. I'm not done with you. Sob sob, I just read some books. I didn't go to a brothel and get a gigolo. What right do you have to hit me? Di Biming was a little regretful after beating her up, but when he heard Yun Chujo say that, he was so angry that he slapped her again. Ah, it hurts so much. Sob sob. Gigolo, I won't talk to you anymore. You fussy bastard. You actually hit me. Help. Help. Is there anyone in Spirit Radiant sect who is still breathing? I'm going to be beaten to death by this gigolo. Someone come and save me. Don't you people want to save me? Wah. Why did I join such a heartless sect? If I'm beaten to death by this gigolo, I won't forgive you even if I become a ghost. Chapter 509. You heartless man. When Master Xinyuan heard Yun Chujia's heart-wrenching screams, he had no choice but to brace himself and walk over. Young Master D, please give me some face. If you have something to say, let's talk it out. Put little Joe down first. Di Biming was really angry just now. Now that he had calmed down, he was also somewhat regretful. Seeing that Master Xinyuan had come over to persuade him, he took the opportunity to put Yun Chujo down and remove the shackles. Gigolo. How dare you hit my little butt? I will never talk to you again. Yun Chujo wiped away her tears and ran away crying. Master Xinyuan sighed when he saw the situation. Young Master D, little Joe has a temperamental character. She just finds those words interesting. You're too harsh on her. Di Biming nodded stiffly. He did not know why he was so against Yun Chujo reading those books, especially since Xue Wuji had been sticking to Yun Chujo these days. He felt very uneasy and wanted to firmly control Yun Chujo. Only then did he feel at ease. Little Joe was really sad just now. I think she went to the stream. Quickly go and persuade her. Master Xinyuan was persuaded when he saw the regret on Di Biming's face. Di Biming cupped his fists at Master Xinyuan and then headed toward the stream. Master Xinyuan shook his head. Little Joe and young Master D were both people with strong personalities. Former Little Joe always tried to curry favor with him, so they got along very well. Now Little Joe was beginning to show her personality, so these two people were bound to face some trouble. When Di Biming rushed to the stream, he saw Yun Chujo continuously throwing stones into the stream, cursing as she did so. Gigolo. Bastard. You actually spanked my little butt. I won't forgive you. I won't pay any more attention to this bastard who spanked his wife. Although Di Biming felt a little regretful, the knot in his heart had not been untied, so he just stood by the side and did not say anything. Yun Chujo originally saw Di Biming coming over and thought that he was there to persuade her. Seeing Di Biming standing there like a wooden pestle made her even angrier. Some people eat carrots and worry about nothing. Why do you care what I read? In the future I will not only read, I will also write. I have already thought of the title of the book. It will be called The Story That My Husband and I Have to Tell. Di Biming was so angry that he gritted his teeth. He endured it and did not say a word. Not only will I write it, I will also add illustrations. The illustrations are all of naked goblins fighting. When the time comes, I will definitely sell it for a lot of spirit stones. Di Biming could not bear it anymore. Black thing. You are spouting nonsense. How dare you? What? Why are you staring at me? Do you still want to hit me? Let me tell you, Gigolo. If you dare to hit me again, I will jump into the river and commit suicide. Yun Chujo said angrily. Di Biming looked at the 2-foot-deep stream and could not help but sneer. Black thing. Do you think this stream can drown you? Yun Chujo pouted and howled again. Good. Gigolo, you actually want me to die. You heartless man, you heartless bastard. Get lost. I don't want to see you ever again. When did I say I want you to die? You're the one who said you wanted to jump into the river and commit suicide. Di Biming saw that Yun Chujo was sobbing, so he held back and did not go forward to hold Yun Chujo in his arms. Yun Chujo was almost sobbing, but Di Biming still did not give in. She gritted her teeth in anger. Okay. I will drown myself today. I will let you see if this stream can drown a person. Chapter 5:10. What do you want, black thing? Yun Chujo ran to the side of the stream and stuck her little head into the water. Di Biming was so angry that he went forward and lifted Yun Chujo up. What do you want, black thing? Yun Chujo was like a little bastard and kept struggling. What do you mean by what I want? You're the one looking for trouble. This morning, you scolded me for no reason and even left me behind. You didn't even consider my safety. Just now you slapped my little butt and now you're treating me like this. What do you take me for? A pet? I'm human. I have my own thoughts and hobbies. I'm equal to you. What right do you have to treat me so tyrannically? Di Biming was a little confused by Yun Chujo's words. In his opinion, Yun Chujo belonged to him. Since she belonged to him, she naturally had to listen to him. Some small matters could be handled according to Yun Chujo's personality, and she could be pampered a little. However, once he made a decision, Yun Chujo had to listen to him unconditionally. While Di Biming was in a daze, Yun Chujo broke free from his hand and ran back to the camp in a flash. Di Biming did not chase after Yun Chujo. He looked at Yun Chujo's back with an expressionless face. Yun Chujo's words had a huge impact on his perception. He could not understand his own thoughts at that moment. Yun Chujo ran back to the shed where the female disciples were. Zhuo Piaoyu and the others were meditating and chatting in groups of 3 to 5. When they saw Yun Chujo running in with tears on her face, they immediately quieted down. It had to be said that the miserable state of the 2 female disciples from Heavenly Gate sect made them fear Yun Chujo. This fellow was really evil. Moreover, she could even say that she was evil. It was better for them to not provoke her. Yun Chujo could not be bothered with them. She wiped her tears and scolded the gigolo a few hundred times. Then she took out a storybook and started reading it. Gigolo, just because you don't allow me to read it means I have to listen? I want to read it. This fellow rubbed her butt as she read. Damn it. Damn gigolo. You actually dare to spank my little butt. This time I will definitely not forgive you easily. Hiss. What a despicable move. Just you wait. Sooner or later, I will rip off your pants and give you a vicious beating. Di Biming did not sleep for almost the entire night. He did not know whether he should adhere to his own principles or follow Yun Chujo's instructions and treat her as an equal partner in their relationship. The next day, when the sky was slightly bright, Shui Wuji rode his sword and came. Sister Little Jiao. Sister Little Jiao. I brought you dumplings from Wuwei City. Come out and have breakfast. Yun Chujo heard Shui Wuji's shout and walked out from the shed. Brother Wuji, you're here so early. Didn't you say that you wanted to eat dumplings that day? I bought them for you. I also bought you porridge and side dishes to prevent you from having too much of those greasy dumplings. Shui Wuji took out a table from his storage ring, then placed the food he bought on it. Brother Wuji, you haven't eaten breakfast yet, right? Let's eat together, Yun Chujo said with a smile. Shui Wuji saw Yun Chujo's small face smiling sweetly, and his heart felt like it had eaten honey. He happily sat opposite Yun Chujo and ate breakfast together with Yun Chujo. Shadow Agent Hua Hua sighed in his heart. Their young master was completely finished. In the middle of the night, he had scared the old man who sold the dumplings awake and forced him to steam buns and make porridge just to please this little girl. Chapter 5:11. A gibberish talisman. While Yun Chujo and Shui Wuji were halfway through their meal, Di Biming walked over expressionlessly. He took out a chair and sat down. Then, he took out several bowls and a pair of chopsticks, then began to eat slowly. Shui Wuji was so angry that he was twitching. Damn it, this is what I got by staying up all night. Facial paralysis actually came to eat for free. However, if he were to cause trouble for debeiming, little sister Jo would definitely be unhappy. Forget it, this facial paralysis, eat as you like. I'll be like feeding a pig. Xue Wuji quickly discovered that debeiming and Yun Chuzhou had not communicated the entire time. Oh, it looked like the two of them had not reconciled yet. This was a great opportunity for him. Xue Wuji kept trying to curry favor. Little sister Jo, is this little steamed bun still to your liking? Yun Chuzhou nodded. It's quite delicious. Little sister Jo, big brother bought a lot of drawers. I'll transfer them to you in a while, in case you can't eat them when you return to the Linghua faction. Big brother also bought some spirit fruits for you. After you finish eating, you can relieve the greasiness. Gotcha. The chopsticks in debeiming's hand snapped. Debeiming calmly took out another pair of chopsticks and continued eating. For some reason, Xue Wuji felt a little chill and finally restrained himself a little. After the three of them had their breakfast, Master Xinyuan led everyone from the Linghua sect to the competition grounds. A high platform had already been erected in front of the Wuwei Tower for the competition. There were also 2 rows of seats on the high platform, which were reserved for the 4 sect masters and the judges. Unlike the first Wuwei Tower trial, this time many people came to watch the competition. An hour later, the competition officially began. The competition was judged one's skill on talisman making, artifact refining, array formation and pill refining. A total of 20 people would participate overall and 5 disciples would be sent to participate in each competition. The corresponding points would then be calculated according to the final ranking. Once all events were completed, the points of the disciples of each sect would be added together to determine the final ranking. Master Zuanyuan's attitude was relaxed. Since the first round of the Wuwei Tower trial, the Linghua sect had obtained first place. Even if they obtained the last place in this trial, it was still an acceptable result. On Yun Chuzhiu's left sat the expressionless debeiming, and on her right sat Xue Wuji, who was constantly trying to curry favor with her. Little sister Jo, I bought a lot of snacks for you. You can eat while you watch. You won't be participating in the competition anyway. You can just enjoy the show. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, thank you, Brother Wuji. You're right. I won't be participating this time, so we'll just cheer for them. Debeiming saw Yun Chuzhou and Xue Wuji chatting non-stop. He was so angry that he grit his teeth. Thinking of Yun Chuzhiu's words, he held it in. The competition soon began. The first round was the talisman making competition. The content of the competition was a level 2 flame talisman. It was the first time Yun Chuzhou saw someone making a talisman. She stared curiously. The contestants held special talisman pens and dipped them in demon beast blood. Then they slowly began to draw on the special talisman paper. Brother Wuji, why are they drawing so slowly? Yun Chuzhou asked in confusion. Little sister Jo, you may not know this, but when making a talisman, it is important to ensure that the output of spiritual power is evenly distributed. If the output of spiritual power is not stable, then the talisman paper will burn on its own. As if to verify Xue Wuji's words, one of the Green Sky Palace disciples on the stage might have been nervous, and the uneven distribution of spiritual power had caused the talisman paper in his hand to burn. Without a doubt, this talisman was a failure. That disciple was naturally ended up in last place of the talisman competition. Yun Chuzhiu's eyes stared at the actions of those disciples and cursed silently in her heart. Wasn't it just gibberish on the talisman? Was there a need to be so slow? Chapter 5:12. Little Joe's products are top-notch after a while. A disciple of the Heavenly Gate sect indicated that the talisman he had made was completed. Soon after, another disciple indicated that he had finished making the talisman. Other than the first disciple, everyone else had finished making the flame talismans. Yun Chuzhiu's mind was not on who had won first place. Instead, she asked Xue Wuji with a smile, Brother Wuji, is this talisman very expensive? Of course. The higher the level of the talisman, the more expensive it is. Not only the talisman but also the spirit tool, the array formation, and the pills are all very expensive. This is because learning those skills not only diverts the energy of cultivation, But also not everyone can learn the 4 techniques of cultivators. Many people who have learned it for decades cannot even be considered a second-rank warlock. So talent and comprehension are very important, Xue Wuji explained patiently. As soon as Xue Wuji finished speaking, he saw Yun Chuzhou laughing foolishly. He curiously waved his hand in front of Yun Chuzhi's eyes and said, Little Sister Jiao, what are you laughing about? Yun Chuzhou finally came back to her senses and said with a bright smile, I'm thinking if I can learn all 4 techniques, will I be able to make a fortune? The surrounding disciples of the Linghua sect could not help but curl their lips. This Yun Chuzhou did not know the difference between heaven and earth. Thinking she could learn all 4 techniques, it would be amazing if you were able to even learn just one. It was said that this Yun Chuzhou was refining pills with Elder Qi, and she had once made a name for herself in the pill refining room. After that, there was no word on further progress. It was probably due to sheer dumb luck. Otherwise, with Yun Chuzhi's arrogant personality, she would have already shown off. There had never been anyone in the Qingxian continent who could master 2 of the 4 arts at the same time. Yet, Yun Chuzhou was still fantasizing about learning all of them. It was simply a pipe dream. Xue Wuji was also amused by Yun Chuzhou. Little Sister Jiao, although your courage is commendable, there are some people in the Tianyuan continent who are exceptionally talented, but they have only mastered 2 arts. Moreover, among the 2 arts, one is the main one and the other is the supplementary one, not to mention mastering all 4 at the same time. Yun Chuzhou curled her lips disapprovingly. What's so difficult about that? Don't they all need spiritual power and spiritual sense? At least this talisman and alchemy are about the same. In a while, I'll look at the artifact refining and array formation. Di Biming, who was at the side, could not hold it in anymore. He snorted coldly. You're overestimating yourself. Yun Chuzhou acted as if she did not hear him. She did not even look at him as she focused all her attention on the artifact refining competition on the stage. The armament refining competition took a much longer time. Yun Chuzhou yawned as she watched. This armament refining is really laborious. That piece of refined iron has been hammered at least 1,000 times. No wonder the spirit weapon is sold at such an expensive price. This is still a mortal-grade spirit weapon. If it is a middle-grade spirit weapon, it will take at least a few months or even a year to forge. The higher the grade of the spirit weapon, the longer it will take, and the more precious the materials used. To gain a good impression, Xue Wuji told her everything he knew. There was nothing he couldn't say. Yup, if I can learn how to refine this weapon, I'll refine it for myself. If I use it to earn money, it's not worth it, Yun Chuzhou said while stroking her chin. The surrounding disciples of the Linghua sect were all speechless. This Yun Chuzhou was really superfluous and overconfident. Her words made it seem like she already knew how to refine weapons. She was really shameless. Xue Wuji thought the same in his heart. However, he said with a smile, Little Sister Jiao, when you learn how to refine weapons, you must give me a spirit weapon. Humph! As long as there are materials and spirit stones, I promise to refine a top-notch spirit weapon for you. Little Jiao's products are top-notch, Yun Chuzhou said smugly. Chapter 513. A genius is indeed a genius. Xue Wuji saw Yun Chuzhi's smug look and echoed, then I'll be waiting for your top-notch spirit weapon. Xue Wuji raised his eyebrows at Di Biming provocatively after he finished his words. How could you be so dumb as to bootlick Little Sister Jiao? Sooner or later, she would find out who was the right person for her. Di Biming's face was gloomy. He wished that he could strangle Xue Wuji to death. However, Black Thing would be even angrier with him if he did anything. Xue Wuji would be able to do as he wished for now. Soon, Xue Wuji would know what would happen to him for trying to steal his woman. Refining artifacts was a time-consuming and laborious task. It was only when the sun was setting that the disciples who participated in the competition indicated that they had finished refining. As the sky was already dark, the remaining array formation and pill refining competition was scheduled to be held on the following day. The crowd of onlookers also gradually dispersed. After dinner, Xue Wuji left reluctantly. Di Biming looked at Yun Chujo with a conflicted expression before riding his sword and leaving as well. Yun Chujo curled her lips. Pretty boy, you are such a tsundere. Let's see how long you can last. Yun Chujo hopped to find Fengming and said, Senior brother Fengming, sell me some flame talismans. Fengming said in confusion, Little sister Jiu, why do you need flame talismans? If you need me to give you a few, I'll give them to you. During the day, I saw that it was quite fun for them to make talismans. I want to take 2 and study them, Yun Chujo said with a smile. Fengming was shocked. Little sister Jiu, it's very difficult to learn how to make talismans. You won't understand it if you study it yourself. Why don't you ask Elder Zhuge for advice? Yun Chujo shook her head. No need. No need. I'm just curious. I'm just using them to pass the time. Since you're just killing time, don't use the flame talismans to study. I have a level 1 flame talisman here. It's cheaper. Even if you accidentally break it, it's not too much of a pity. Fengming said as he took out 2 flame talismans from his storage ring and handed them to Yun Chujo. Yun Chujo took the flame talisman and thanked Fengming. Then she took the flame talisman and hopped to a corner. After opening the isolation disc, she took out the luminous pearl and lit it up. Then she took out a flame talisman and looked at it carefully. Yun Chujo looked at it for a while and muttered, Che? Isn't this gibberish on the talisman? Seems so mysterious. I don't think it's difficult at all. This fellow's hand was a little itchy. She wanted to try it with her own hands. Although she could get the demon beast's blood, what if she didn't have a talisman pen or talisman paper? Senior brother Fengming definitely didn't have these things, and she didn't want too many people to know about it. Could it be that she could only wait until she had the opportunity to buy some talisman paper and talisman pen? She thought for a while. The talisman pen was just to control the output of spiritual power to be evenly distributed. It should be possible to use her fingers directly, but how could she solve the lack of talisman paper? Forget it, I'll just take a random piece of paper and try it out. If it doesn't work, then we'll deal with it later. Therefore, Yun Chujo took out a piece of paper for drawing. She dipped her finger in the blood of the demonic beasts and transferred her spiritual power to the paper. The drawing looked decent, but when she activated it, the talisman ran at 1/10 of its original power, and the paper couldn't withstand the spiritual power and was burned. Yun Chujo smiled proudly. Although the paper was burned, it seemed that she had drawn it right. Moreover, she could use her finger to replace the talisman pin. A genius was indeed a genius. However, where could she get talisman paper? Yun Chujo looked at the flame talisman in her hand and her eyes lit up. She had thought of a good idea. This little fire can't possibly cause any harm to us. Elder Chu slapped his thigh. This is the craftiness of that old fellow Du Gai. Perhaps he wants to disturb our disciples' rest. If they don't rest well, then they won't be able to perform well in the remaining 2 competitions tomorrow. Everyone thought that it was possible. Otherwise, why would there be a fire for no reason? The next morning, Xue Wuji still came early to curry favor. Little sister Jiu, come out and eat breakfast. I bought you shrimp dumplings, rice rolls, and small wontons today. Yun Chujo yawned as she walked out of the shed. Brother Wuji, you're up early. Secret Agent Hua Hua was silently cursing at the side. Up early. They did not sleep throughout the night and were busy having food prepared for you. Our young master is a demon. Little sister Jiu, did you guys roast meat again yesterday? Xue Wuji sniffed and asked curiously. Chapter 5:15. I don't eat this kind of food. Yun Chujo shook her head. No, Brother Wuji, why do you ask? There's a very strong smell of burning. Don't you smell it? Yun Chuji's attention was on the food on the table, so she didn't notice it. After hearing what Xue Wuji said, she raised her nose and sniffed. Something did smell like it was burning. Where did the smell come from? Elder Chu happened to hear Xue Wuji and Yun Chujo talking. He said, Yesterday, the grass over there suddenly caught fire. Don't you think it's strange? We speculated that it might be that old fart Du Gai's idea to prevent us from having a good rest. If that's the case, we won't be able to perform well in the competition. That old man is really insidious. Yun Chujo felt a little guilty for no reason. Elder Chu, where is the fire? Elder Chu stretched out his finger. There, it's over there, to the west of that hemlock tree. Yun Chujo thought to herself, isn't that the place where she fiddled with the fire talisman yesterday? Could it be that she was the main culprit behind the fire? Elder Chu, when exactly was the fire yesterday? Yun Chujo continued to ask. Around midnight. Fortunately, we were more alert. Otherwise, that old man Dugai would have succeeded. Elder Chu said with a little pride. Yun Chujo also scolded Dugai with indignation. After Elder Chu left, Yun Chujo couldn't sit still anymore. Brother Wuji, I'll go to the place where the fire started. I'll come back for breakfast later. Brother will go with you. Shue Wuji put the food on the table into his storage ring and followed her attentively. Yun Chujo went to the place where the fire was last night. It was the place where she had stayed the day before. However, she had left at midnight. How could the talisman burn 2 hours later? It was really strange. Yun Chujo thought for a long time but still couldn't figure it out. Forget it, she'd better go back to the Linghua sect to study it. Breakfast was more important, and her stomach was rumbling. When Yun Chujo and Shue Wuji returned, they found Di Biming already sitting there waiting for the two of them. Shue Wuji sneered, Di Biming, could it be that your longevity hall can't afford to eat anymore? You're always freeloading on the breakfast I bought for little sister Jiao. How can you be so thick-skinned? Di Biming glanced at him and took out a few small steamer baskets from his storage ring. He also took out a few plates of exquisite side dishes. Finally, he took out a big bowl of sweet-smelling polar mussel porridge. Yun Chujo cursed in her heart. That damn gigolo. He took out all her favorite food. Was he trying to use delicious food to please her? I won't fall for it. I won't eat this kind of food. However, cough cough. If the gigolo begged her bitterly, she could just eat a little. Just as Yun Chujo was thinking about it, she heard Di Biming say, Shue Wuji, don't worry. I brought breakfast today. I won't eat the food you bought. After Di Biming said that, he scooped a bowl of polar mussel porridge and drank it slowly. He did not have any intention of letting Yun Chujo eat it. Yun Chujo said to Shue Wuji angrily, Brother Wuji, let's eat breakfast too. We still have to watch the competition after eating. Shue Wuji nodded hurriedly and took out the food he bought. Yun Chujo smelled the fragrance coming from Di Biming's dishes and felt that the shrimp dumplings in her mouth were not delicious at all. However, she refused to give in. She smacked her lips and said, Brother Wuji, the taste of the shrimp dumplings is really good. It's much better than polar mussel porridge. Chapter 5:16. To test Di Biming's reaction when Shue Wuji heard Yun Chuji's words, he said proudly, Little sister Jiao, what do you like to eat? I'll send it to you every morning from now on. As long as you tell me, I'll definitely send it to you. Di Biming glanced at the two of them, then said to Yun Chujo, Black thing. Originally the rest was meant for you. Since you think the shrimp dumplings are delicious, then I'd better keep it. Yun Chujo was torn between her pride and the delicacies for a few seconds, then took the bowl of polar mussel porridge to her side and said shamelessly, The shrimp dumplings are the staple food. I can have some more porridge. The corner of Di Biming's mouth curled up, but he did not say anything. Then he mockingly looked at Shue Wuji. Shue Wuji gritted his teeth. Just as he was about to say something, he saw Yun Chujo reach out her evil claws and take the 2 steamer baskets in front of Di Biming to her side. Then she gobbled them up. She already felt that she was behaving shamelessly, so what was there to be polite about? Shue Wuji was very depressed. These things that he had spent most of the night making could not be compared to the lousy things that Di Biming brought over. He had never seen this food in a restaurant in the Tianyuan continent. It must be made by the Temple of Immortal's own chef. He would post a notice to hire a chef when he went back. He did not believe that he could not compete with Di Biming. Di Biming and Shue Wuji were busy competing with each other, while Yun Chujo was only responsible for eating. As for whether she would lose face or not, it was not an issue at all. After breakfast, the competition continued. The first to start was the array formation competition. There were already judges who had set up the 9 zigzag array on the high platform. After the 20 people who participated in the competition entered the array, the judges opened the array disc and ranked them according to the order in which they had to break out of the array. Yoon Choo-jo looked at them casually while munching on melon seeds. She muttered in a low voice, "This is too easy. If I go up, it'll be out in less than 15 minutes. The surrounding disciples of the Linghua sect curled their lips. This Yoon Choo-jo was becoming more and more arrogant. Yesterday she said that she wanted to learn all 4 techniques of cultivators, and today she was spewing nonsense. How could she be out in less than 15 minutes? Are you dreaming? This 9-winding array was formed from 9 array formations. It was already good enough if the disciples on the stage could get out within 4 hours. It was surely impossible to make it in half an hour. However, Shue Wuji knew how powerful Yoon Choo-jo was. He smiled and said, "Of course they can't compare with Little Sister Jo. Little Sister Jo, if you're bored you can read the book. You haven't finished reading the few books that we bought together last time, have you?" Di Biming's eyes darkened. Damn this Shue Wuji. He knew that he and Haedong had a conflict because of the book, but Shue Wuji had to bring it up. He must be up to no good. Di Biming had to hold back and not lose his temper. Yoon Choo-jo blinked her eyes. So that was the case. Didn't the black chicken head slip up last time? This guy did it on purpose. You black-headed chicken. Just you wait, I'll get my revenge sooner or later. However, it was fine to read it. Firstly, to pass the time, and secondly, to test Di Biming's reaction. Therefore, Yoon Choo-jo took out a book from her storage ring and read it happily. It was titled Smiling at the Pretty Boy's Harem. Di Biming wanted to burn this book into ashes. He clenched his fist and held it back. Yoon Choo-jo saw that although Di Biming's face was gloomy, he did not do anything. She was very proud. No matter how overbearing and arrogant you are, I will turn you into my slave. Chapter 517. How dare you snatch my book in broad daylight? Di Biming's face was gloomy. He tried his best to focus on the competition stage and did not think about the book in Yoon Choo-jo's hands. However, his mind was filled with words like handsome man, harem, peerless beauty, husband, and so on. He gritted his teeth. Black thing, pass me the book in your hands. Yoon Choo-jo was so scared that she immediately covered the book in her arms. What are you doing? Are you going to destroy my book again? Don't even think about it. How dare you snatch my book in broad daylight? How shameless! The corner of Di Biming's eyes twitched violently. He sighed and said, I don't want to destroy this book. I just want to check out the contents and see why you are so obsessed with this book. Yoon Choo-jo was skeptical, but she still handed the book to Di Biming. Then she nervously stared at Di Biming, afraid that he would not keep his promise and destroy the book. It's really pretty. You'll know when you see it. When you read it, you focus on its plot and ignore the unimportant parts. I'm not interested in the fights between the goblins. I just like to read the storyline. Yoon Choo-jo explained. Di Biming resisted the urge to burn the book in his hand. He opened it and started to read. What nonsense was this? Women were superior to men? Women could not only be the emperor but also take in more than 10 male concubines? Di Biming could not continue reading after just 2 pages. He threw the book to Yoon Choo-jo. Ridiculous, extremely boring. Seeing that Di Biming did not destroy the book, Yoon Choo-jo made a victory sign in her heart. The gigolo was about to compromise. She had to find an opportunity to work harder. In the future, she would be able to openly read these kinds of books. Di Biming saw that Yoon Choo-jo finished reading the book after a short while. Then she took out another stack from her storage ring. Black thing, how many did you buy that day? Not many, just a few hundred. Yoon Choo-jo said with a smile. Di Biming, these are all given to little sister Jo by me. Girls should be pampered. I'm not like you, bullying little sister Jo all day long. What's wrong with reading a book? I think this is a very, very good hobby. Little sister Jo, you can read as much as you want. If this facial paralysis doesn't let you, I will deal with him. Xue Wuji saw that the relationship between Yun Chuzhou and Di Biming had eased up a little. He quickly came out to make his presence felt, and at the same time to sow discord. Yun Chuzhou glanced at Xue Wuji. Brother Wuji, thank you. It would be even better if you could be more serious next time. Xue Wuji was dumbfounded. It was over. Little sister Zhou knew that he had intentionally let it slip last time. What should he do? Little sister Zhou must hate him to death. Little sister Zhou, I really didn't do it on purpose last time. I really didn't mean to let it slip. Besides, judging from the words, it wasn't a bad thing to begin with. I didn't expect that Di Biming, this expressionless man, would be so unreasonable. I immediately fell out with you. Xue Wuji felt that his words were extremely clever. He had taken himself out and secretly tricked Di Biming. It was killing two birds with one stone. Xue Wuji, I don't care what your motive is. You have repeatedly tried to sow discord between me and the Black Thing. I will make your blood demon sect pay for your stupidity. Di Biming could not stand it anymore. If it were not for this Xue Wuji, he and the Black Thing would not have ended up like this. It was all caused by him sowing discord. Chapter 518. We can only be friends. Xue Wuji was stunned at first. Then he said to Yun Chuzhou with deep affection, Little sister Zhou, brother is doing this for you. Even if the demon blood sect suffers from this facial paralysis revenge, brother will always help you. Yun Chuzhou saw that Xue Wuji's expression was different from his usual pretense, but his true feelings were revealed. She was slightly stunned. She had always thought that Xue Wuji was trying to curry favor with her just to cause trouble for Di Biming. She did not expect him to have such a good impression of her. Yun Chuzhou had always been straightforward and decisive when doing things. Since she did not like Xue Wuji, then she should not give him any false hope. Yun Chuzhou was silent for a moment. After she took out the isolation disc and activated it, her face turned serious. Brother Wuji, although we were not happy before, after these few days, I have already treated you as a friend. However, we are only friends. There is no other possibility. Yun Chuzhou did not continue. Although Xue Wuji looked a little silly, his mind was very clear. She believed that he understood what she meant. When Xue Wuji heard Yun Chuzhou's words, the light in his eyes instantly dimmed. His heart felt sour, as if it was even worse than losing a lot of spirit stones. When Di Biming saw Yun Chuzhou say this, he felt extremely relieved. The shadow that had been lingering in his heart for so many days had finally disappeared. As I said, with Xue Wuji's stupid appearance, he still wanted to compete with me for the Black Thing. He was simply overestimating himself. Damn you, Xue Wuji. Do you think you can snatch the Black Thing? You must be dreaming. However, seeing that you have suffered such a blow, I'll temporarily withhold any action against the demon blood sect. Seeing that Xue Wuji looked like he had nothing left to live for, Yun Chuzhou felt guilty. However, since she did not him, she had to nip the bud before things escalated. If she were to play flirtatious games, it would be harmful to others and herself. Xue Wuji was silent for a moment, then he smiled evilly. It seems that this young master's charm is limited to little sister Zhou. Little sister Zhou, don't worry. This young master has always been able to take things easy. Since you have made it so clear, then you will be my little sister from now on. If anyone bullies you, Big Brother will beat them up until they find their teeth all over the floor. When Yun Chuzhou saw that Xue Wuji had returned to his carefree self, she felt relieved and said with a smile, Thank you, Brother Wuji. Di Biming frowned. Xue Wuji gave up so easily? This was not like his personality at all. However, since Black Thing did not have him in his heart, he was relieved. Yun Chuzhou put away the isolation disc and continued to read the book in her hand. At this moment, Di Biming and Xue Wuji, who were beside her, were in a state of ice and fire. The gloominess on Di Biming's face was swept away. He suddenly felt that Black Thing did not mind reading these messy books. At the very least, he did not have the time to deal with an idiot like Xue Wuji. Should he get more of these books for Black Thing? On the other side, Xue Wuji suffered a huge blow. Little sister Zhou, is your eyesight bad? How can you like D. Biming's facial paralysis and not me? I am more gentle and considerate than that facial paralysis. Moreover, I am so good to you. Why do you like him and not me? Xue Wuji secretly gritted his teeth. This young master will not give up so easily. Little sister Jo will understand sooner or later that he is more suitable for her than D. Biming's facial paralysis. Chapter 519. The Yun family had an accident after the array formation competition was completed. It was the alchemy competition. Yun Chuzhou was not interested. In her eyes, these people were like children playing house too weak. After an hour and a half, the alchemy competition also ended uneventfully. After the points were calculated, the second round was indeed won by the Heaven's Gate sect. The Heaven Sword sect was second, the Linghua sect was third, and the Bixiao Palace sect was last. After adding up the results of the 2 rounds, other than the Bixiao Palace sect who had slightly worse results, the other 3 sects were neck and neck. However, Du Gai was very dissatisfied with the results. If it wasn't for that Yun Chuzhou, their Heaven's Gate sect would definitely be ranked first in the Wuwei Tower trial. Stupid girl, I won't let you off. After the trial ended, the 4 great sects set off and left the Wuwei mountain one after another. Di Biming and Xue Wuji did not accompany Yun Chuzhou back to the Linghua sect, because they had some matters to attend to. Although Yun Chuzhou and Di Biming did not completely reconcile, when Di Biming saw that Yun Chuzhou had explicitly rejected Xue Wuji, in his heart, he let go of the matter of Yun Chuzhou reading the book. Yun Chuzhou felt that she could not rush to correct the tsundere character of the gigolo. She simmered it down slowly, and sooner or later she would change him. On the afternoon of the 3rd day after they returned to the Linghua faction, Yun Chuzi and the others found Yun Chuzhou. Little Jiu, grandfather is sick. Quickly tell the sect leader, we have to go back and see him. Yun Chuzhou was shocked. What illness does grandfather have? How did you find out about it? Housekeeper Ji sent someone to deliver the letter. He said that he had caught a cold and didn't care about it, but it's got worse. Now he's bedridden and can't get out of bed. Grandfather doesn't want us to worry, but Housekeeper Ji thinks that we should go back and visit him. I'll go and ask for permission to leave from the sect master right now and borrow another flying spirit tool so that we can hurry back. Yun Chuzhou was concerned about Yun Xiaotian. When she heard that Yun Xiaotian was sick, she immediately felt a little uneasy. Yun Chuzhou went to find Master Xianyuan and told him about the matter. Master Xianyuan hesitated for a moment, but he still agreed to Yun Chuzhi's request and lent her a small flying spirit tool. He told her to be careful on the way and to return as soon as possible. Yun Chuzhou came out from Master Zuanyuan's place, found Yun Chuzi and the others, and left the Linghua sect on the flying spirit tool. And Feng was quite puzzled when he saw Yun Chuzhou leave the Linghua sect again. Where's little sister Jo going? She carefully tailed her. The flying spirit tool was quite fast. At noon the next day, Yun Chuzhou and the others arrived at Yi City. They got off the flying spirit tool, and after entering the city, they went straight to the Yun mansion. When they arrived at the door of the Yun mansion, Yun Chuzhou found that the 2 people guarding the door looked very unfamiliar. She had never seen them before, and they were actually at the 9th level of the spirit enhancement realm. Her heart moved and she asked casually, "Are the autumn crab apples of our Yun mansion ripe?" The 2 of them were stunned. One of the tall guards smiled and said, "They should be ripe already. Young Miss Jo has visited the family head, so you can let your servants pick a few and have a taste." Yun Chuzhou smiled and waved at the tall guard. "I brought some gifts for the 2 of you from the Linghua sect. Come here, I'll give them to you." Yun Chuzi and the others frowned. Why was little Jo so inconspicuous? Why was she not in a hurry to go in and see the family head? Why was she chatting with these 2 guards? Besides, how could their Yun residents have any autumn apple fruits? The tall guard hesitated for a moment, but he still walked over with a smile. "Thank you very much, Miss Jo." Yun Chuzhou smiled at him, and a big paper bag appeared in her hand. "This is my gift to you. Take it." Yun Chuzhou suddenly threw the paper bag in her hand at the man's face. At the same time, the rolling pin in her hand was thrown at the man. Chapter 520. My life is worth so little. When the man saw the paper bag being thrown at him, he subconsciously blocked it and his face was covered with the chili paste inside. Before he could react, Yoon Chuji's rolling pin had smashed into his chest. The man screamed and fell to the ground. When the other short guard saw this, he was about to run into the Yoon mansion when Yoon Chuji and the others had already reacted by surrounding the man. Yoon Chujo hit the man's knee with the rolling pin and leaped forward, holding the kitchen knife on the man's neck. Tell me, who are you people? Where did the Yoon family go? Yoon Chujo was burning with anxiety. Something must have happened to the Yoon family. She hoped that her grandfather and the others were still alive. Stupid girl, if you dare to kill me, none of the people inside will live. The short man saw that the situation was dire and said fiercely. Yoon Chujo saw that she couldn't get anything out of him, so she slit his throat. Then she stabbed the tall man lying on the ground. Just as Yoon Chujo was about to speak to Yoon Chuji and the others, the door opened. In the middle of the courtyard sat a man wearing a golden mask. Yoon Chujo couldn't see through this person's spiritual power, so he must be above the second level of the spirit cultivator realm. Around him stood dozens of men in black, and half of them, Yoon Chujo couldn't see through their cultivation. The remaining people were at least at the 9th layer of the spirit enhancement realm. Behind the man, Yoon Xiaotian and the others were tied up with ropes, and their mouths were stuffed with rags. Almost everyone was wounded, and their clothes were full of blood. The only thing that made Yoon Chujo feel relieved was that none of them were dead. Little girl, you are indeed very crafty. You saw right through the guards instantly. No wonder someone offered 100 million low-grade spirit stones to take your little life. You killed 2 of us just now. In exchange, 2 people will pay with their lives. The golden masked man gestured for Yoon Xiaotian and Yoon Chushur to be escorted to the side. Stop. Don't you want my life? I'll go with you. Let these people go. Yoon Chujo said indifferently, as if this was a very small matter. The man in the golden mask was stunned. Yo, little girl, you're quite loyal. I thought I had to kill a few more people to force you into submission. Since that's the case, eat this poison pill. Yoon Chujo took the poison pill from the man and was about to put it into her mouth when Yoon Chuji and the others grabbed Yoon Chuji's arm. Little Jio, you can't. Yoon Chujo smiled bitterly. Do we have any other choice? Yoon Chuji and the others fell silent. They could not beat him. If they left, Yoon Xiaotian and the others would die without a doubt. They were extremely angry at their incompetence. Yoon Chujo played with the pill in her hand and said to the golden masked man, What if you don't let me go even if I eat this poison pill? The golden masked man laughed. The biggest creed of our League of Assassins is to keep our promises. Otherwise, we would not have become the #1 assassin organization in the Qingxian continent. As long as you take this poison pill and follow our instructions, I promise not to hurt anyone here. League of Assassins? Sounds pretty awesome. This is a no-cost business. It must be very profitable, right? What is your business scope? How did the customers find you? Could it be that you appeared out of thin air after shouting in the courtyard that I wanted to hire a murderer? Oh right, the person who killed me only paid you 100 million low-grade spirit stones? My life is worth so little. Yoon Chujo asked curiously. Everyone. Chapter 521. This little girl must be sick. Everyone was dumbfounded. Especially the people from the League of Assassins. This little girl must be sick, right? Why do you care whether we earn money or not? Why do you care how the customers contact us? What does it have to do with you? Moreover, when they heard that someone was about to be killed, they still doubted that the price of hiring an assassin was too low. The man in the golden mask was stunned at first. Then he laughed out loud. Little girl, this is interesting. Unfortunately, there is no reason for us to cancel the contract once we accept it. Otherwise, we can sit down and have a good chat. You've wasted enough time. Just swallow the poison pill. Will the poison pill make you choke? I haven't lived long enough. Yoon Chujo blinked her eyes, her face full of grief. The man in the golden mask frowned. The client said that you have to live if possible, so if you eat this poison pill, you won't die for the time being. You'll only lose your spiritual power. However, if you don't take the antidote 3 days later, you'll still die. As for what happens after we hand you over to the client, that has nothing to do with us. Don't get any funny ideas. This poison pill and antidote are only available to our League of Assassins. Cut the crap and quickly swallow it. Sigh, it seems that before I die, I can't find out who wants to kill me. I can't die in peace. Alright, can we let them go now? Yun Chujo stuffed the pill into her mouth and swallowed it. The man in the golden mask saw Yun Chujo swallow the pill and asked someone to tie Yun Chujo up. Then he waved his hand and asked someone to let Yun Xiaotan and the others go. Miss Jo, I have let you down, but I have no choice. If I didn't write a letter, they threatened to kill the family head. Housekeeper Ji knelt on the ground, tears streaming down his face. Yun Chujo smiled and said, Housekeeper Ji, you have done well. If you didn't do as they said, I would blame you for the consequences. Take good care of your grandfather. Yun Xiaoshan's old tears streamed down his face. Little Joe, this is Sai. I have let down your dead parents. At this moment, Yun Xiaotian felt helpless. There was a huge difference in strength between the two sides. Moreover, he didn't care about his old life anymore. But what about the others? Grandfather, don't worry about me. Maybe when the people who hired the assassins see that I'm so smart and cute, they will cancel the contract. Grandfather, when this matter is over, I'll come back to see you. Yun Chujo said with a smile. The corners of the assassin's eyes twitched. They had carried out so many missions, but this was the first time they saw someone who was still smiling before they left. Moreover, since he already spent 100 million spirit stones to kill you, it showed how much he hated you. Why would he cancel the contract? Alright, cut the crap. Let's go. The man in the golden mask urged. I know. I'm so sensible and obedient. What's there to be afraid of if we delay for a little while? Grandfather, everyone, am leaving. See you later. Yun Chujo was carried away by the people from the League of Assassins with her flying spirit tool. Grandfather, don't worry. We'll return to the Linghua sect right now and ask Master Shenyuan to save little Jiu. Yun Chuzi consoled. Right. Quickly go back and find someone to save little Jiu. It will be too late if we tarry. Yun Xiaotian urged Yun Chuzi and the others to immediately return to the Linghua sect. And Feng had already sent a voice transmission talisman to Di Baiming. He had been following the League of Assassins' flying spirit tool from behind. The reason why he did not make a move just now was firstly because the other party had a large number of people. Moreover, with Yun Xiaotian and the others as hostages, it was not wise to make a move. At this moment, inside the League of Assassins' flying spirit tool, Yun Chujo was chatting with everyone with a smile. Yes, she was the one who initiated it. Chapter 522. You must be crazy to want to make money, Goldface. You look pretty good in that mask, but aren't you afraid that it's not good for your skin if you keep wearing it? And you guys? Why are you all wearing black clothes? You don't deserve to have such an awesome identity as members of the League of Assassins. You guys should wear a big red outfit. That would be so cool. Moreover, it didn't matter if they got blood on them. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You guys should consider my suggestion. Goldface, do you guys know that I'm a true disciple of the Linghua sect? Aren't you afraid of offending the Linghua sect? Isn't it too cheap to do this for just a mere 100 million low-grade spirit stones? Also, why don't you guys take me to the Linghua sect to exchange for some spirit stones? I'm so smart and cute, and Master Shenyuan likes me very much. Maybe he'll even use 1 billion low-grade spirit stones to pay my ransom. Actually, why don't you guys change professions? It must be dangerous being an assassin. Why don't you try kidnapping? Think about it, you can kidnap a victim several times. Isn't it a lot better than killing her? Shut her mouth. The man in the golden mask couldn't stand the sound of the endless chattering anymore. It was the first time he had encountered such a strange target. Wait! Don't muzzle me. Don't muzzle me. At worst, I won't say anything. What would you guys like to hear? Why don't I tell you guys about the matters of the Linghua sect? Aren't you guys curious? Alright, I know that you guys are very well informed, but there are inevitably some rumors that you don't know about. For example, The matter of West Peak's Peak Master Yuan having an illegitimate daughter. What? There's such a thing? Why haven't we heard of it? Goldface was shocked. This was the first time he had heard of this news. TCH, how could such a shameful thing be known to others? Do you guys want to hear more? I know a lot of such news. It's all about the 5 Peak Masters and the Elders. For example, who has an illegitimate child, who is in a relationship with whom, who is gay with. Wait, what does gay mean? Goldface asked in confusion. It means that 2 men are in love. By the way, do you usually spend spirit stones to buy information about your League of Assassins? Yun Chujo suddenly changed the topic. Jean Mian nodded. Most of it is bought with money. Why are you asking about this? Of course it's business. I have a lot of information. I also know a lot about that old bastard Du Gai from our Linghua sect. Are you interested? Yun Chujo said as she observed Goldface's eyes. Goldface's eyes did not show anything other than surprise. Yun Chujia's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that it was that old bastard Du Gai that hired them to kill her? Who else wanted to kill her? Moreover, with such a huge sum of money, an average person would not be able to afford such a high price. Business? What business? Goldface asked in confusion. You guys spent spirit stones to buy information about me. Yun Chujo said as if it was a matter of fact. Humph. You're a dead woman walking and you still want to earn spirit stones? You're really greedy. Goldface was so angry that he was amused. Strange things happened every year, and this year there were a lot of them. He had been an assassin for so many years, but this was the first time he had met such a weirdo. As a hostage, she actually talked business with them. You must be crazy to want to make money in this situation. Sigh. Things are unpredictable in this world. What if I escape death this time? I'll earn more spirit stones and then I'll hire you guys to kill that bastard who wants to kill me. Your killing league doesn't accept all kinds of business, right? What kind of business do you turn down? Chapter 523. I'm only 9 years old. I won't accept any mission to kill targets of rank elder or higher from the 4 great sections. I won't accept any mission to kill my fellow disciples. I won't accept any mission to kill children under the age of 10. Goldface said. Yun Chujo immediately said happily, really? There's such a rule? Killers with a conscience. Well, I'm only 9 years and 2 months old this year. I'm not even 10 years old yet. Please let me go. Everyone. Did they think they were all idiots? Before they wanted to kill, they had naturally looked into Yun Chujia's background. Who did she think she was lying to? I'm not even 10 years old yet. You all know that I was adopted, so there's bound to be a difference in age. Children don't have as bad lives as their parents. Little cabbages, yellows in the fields, 3 or 2 years old, no mother. Yun Chujo started singing as she spoke, and her voice was full of emotion. These killers were all orphans, and after hearing Yun Chujo sing, they all felt a little uncomfortable. Goldface saw that everyone's emotions were rattled, and he could not help but shout angrily, "Stop singing. Even if you were adopted, your actual age would only be older than your current age. How could you be younger? Don't waste your effort. We have to hand you over to our employer." Alright, actually, you guys don't know that I am an elder of the Linghua faction, so you guys can cancel this mission. Yun Chujo was filled with regret. Why didn't she ask for an elder position back then? Goldface sneered, obviously thinking that Yun Chujo was bluffing. Yun Chujo touched her nose. How about this? I will join your League of Assassins. I am such a smart and cute person, you guys won't reject me, right? The corner of Goldface's eyes twitched violently. Cut the crap, tell us what you know. Then let's talk about the price. If the price is right, I'll tell you. Yun Chujo said with a smile. Humph. If you don't want to suffer, just tell us honestly. Otherwise, we'll force it out of you. Goldface couldn't help but despise her in his heart. This little girl was still too naive. Why would they buy her information with spirit stones? Dream on. Alright, who asked you to be the butcher and me the fish? You can at least untie me. I am only a 4th level spirit enhancement trash, and I even swallowed the poison. You guys aren't afraid that I will run away, right? Goldface felt that what Yun Chujo said made sense. He wasn't afraid that she would play any tricks, so he got someone to untie Yoon Choo-jo's bindings. Yoon Choo-jo moved her limbs and asked with a smile, "Goldface, what conditions can your killing alliance meet to cancel the contract?" The employer voluntarily cancels the contract. Our leader orders us to cancel the contract or when we have already delivered the target to the employer. Goldface sneered.